It's the big day. It's our annual Pride Day here at Gloucestershire County Cricket Club. The Pride flags flying proudly, along with our Guard of Honour. Please give a warm welcome to young cricketers from Chipping Sodbury Cricket Club.
Well, a very good afternoon to you all from Bristol, whether you're listening in from the West Country or you're listening in from North London. My name's Dan Whiting. There's no Ian Randall today. He's away with a personal matter, so if he's watching, we wish you well, Ian. And I'm delighted to be joined for this clash between Gloucestershire and Middlesex by Toby Reynolds. Afternoon, Toby.
Afternoon, Dan. Yeah, excited to be here. First men's game of the season for me here, down at the Seat Unique Stadium, but very excited after a sort of a resurgence to this Gloucestershire side.
Yeah, well, they've lost the first 5, won the next 3. Gloucestershire don't do it easy, do they?
Definitely not. It was as you say, a challenging start to the season, losing all of their first 5. But you know, they had a tricky start to last season as well, and look how it finished with a trophy coming back to Bristol for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, and Middlesex have been, I mean, they've been poor in this competition for a number of years, but they've had a little bit of a better year, haven't they? I think they're on the same points as Gloucestershire. They're sitting side by side in the table. So this is a must-win for both sides if they're serious about getting in that top 4.
Oh, absolutely. As you mentioned, both teams on 12 points. A win brings them within a win of the top 4 and of course quarterfinals and possibility of finals day. Middlesex, as you mentioned, a similarly up and down season. And realistically, for both sides to have any chance of making it to the next round, they have to have a victory here.
Yeah, well, these two sides not only meet here today, but they meet pretty soon at Merchant Taylor's School, I believe, don't they? So that'll be an interesting clash as well. Gloucestershire won at Essex on Friday night. It was a cracking game of cricket. It was a high-scoring game, as it often is at Essex. Short, straight boundaries down the ground, a flat pitch, and Gloucestershire just about got home, but it was a really good game of cricket, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very much so. Jack Taylor obviously continuing his brilliant form this season, made 50. Ben Charlesworth as well, 47. And of course Josh Shaw, who's back in the side for the last couple of games, has been absolutely flying with the ball, picking up 2-fers, 3-fers, just wickets galore, and finding his form from last year.
Yeah, he's such an important cog in this Gloucestershire wheel. The news is on Pride Day that Stevie Eskenazi has won the toss and has elected to bat. Yeah, so that's what will be happening.
They're bowling, sorry.
They're bowling, yeah, I thought so. Middlesex won the toss and bowl. So, yeah, so there's Alfred, the gorilla, on your screen, who will be at the front of the parade, local school children, and it's a bright afternoon in Bristol. There has been a little bit of rain around, but I think we should be okay now.
Yes, yeah, as you mentioned, driving down here to the West Country, it was very much a lot of sun, but also a lot of rain coming down, and it is bright blue skies out here today, and hopefully a good opportunity for Gloucestershire here to pile on the runs with the sun out, and then maybe look to defend the total and continue their winning ways.
Yeah, return to Bristol as well for Ryan Higgins, for Kane Williamson, and for Zafar Gohar. So welcome back to the West Country, guys. And this should be a really good game of cricket. Miles Hammond and Darcy Short, the opening pair for the last few games, will just making their way out to the middle. Umpires today, Paul Baldwin and Hassan Adnan, with your match referee, the old Leicestershire batter, Phil Whittercase.
Don Shelley. The first 6 overs are power play overs, a maximum of 2 fielders.
So the Middlesex side is Eskenazi, Cracknell, Williamson, Holden, Geddes, Deploy, Higgins, Luke Holman, Zafar Gohar, Tom Helm, and Josh Little. And Gloucestershire?
Yeah, almost unchanged. They stick with Miles Hammond, Darcy Short, Cameron Bancroft, Ollie Price, Jack Taylor, Ben Charlesworth, Graham Van Buren, Matt Taylor, David Payne, Ajit Singh Dale, the only change has come in for Marshan De Lange, and Josh Shaw in there as well.
Yeah, well, Miles Hammond's going to face the first ball, and it's going to be bowled from the Ashley Down Road end by Tom Helm. So he's originally from Chesham Cricket Club, an ex-clubmate of Dominic Goodman of Gloucestershire. So he'll take us away.
Helm coming round the wicket first up, and Hammond for first ball with a glorious cover drive to get things underway here at the Seat Unique Stadium. Brilliant shot there from Miles Hammond.
He did that the other night. He took 10 off the first over at Essex with 2 cover drives, which he just leant on. They're not even half volleys, they're not bad deliveries, but he just leans on them. And he's such an elegant stroke maker, Miles Hammond. Yeah,
elegant is the perfect word for that. Just leant on that one. Fraction too much width from Helm first up. And Hammond cashes in. That time a little bit straighter. Looks to turn it into the leg side, but just down the ground for a dot ball. Good comeback there from Tom Helm.
Now, I don't want to be heightist, but we're going to have probably Little bowling to short at some point in this game.
That's a very, very good observation there, Dan. Shorter again from Helm, and again into the body of Hammond, who just dabs that one down the ground.
Yeah, new chapter for Middlesex. Departure of Richard Johnson a couple of weeks ago, and Dane Villas, the old Lancashire batter, he's come in. And results have been encouraging. A win at Leicestershire in the county championship. No one saw that coming at all.
No, not at all. Helm in again now. Width on offer again, and Hammond instead just picks out fielder in there at extra cover, Max Holden.
Yeah, Holden from Cambridge Granta Cricket Club, which Zaman Akhtar is one of his old teammates from that neck of the woods, from that club. And Michael Pepper at Essex as well, he's Cambridge Granta.
Not bad alumnus they have down there. Couple more balls here for Helm to end us over. Width offered again, and Hammond again finds the boundary. Twice this over now, with another brilliant cover drive. Gloucestershire on to 8. And Helm just again with a little bit too much width.
Yeah, they're not bad deliveries, they're not half volleys by any stretch of the imagination, but Miles Hammond works on width, and if you offer him any room to get his levers going, he'll punish you through the covers.
Final ball of the first over here. Used to feet a little bit from Hammond there, but in the end just dabs the slower ball out towards extra cover to end the first over. 8 runs from it. Hammond with all 8 of those, with 2 brilliant cover drives. Darcy Short will be facing up the next over, the Aussie overseas. But we won't have Little to short, unfortunately for you, Dan.
Yeah, well, you know, I was trying to work in, seeing as Oasis are on their comeback tour, a little by little gag, but you know, I just can't quite manage it yet. So Ryan Higgins is going to take us away from the pavilion end, returning back to the West Country. He left Middlesex originally for Gloucestershire, and then went back to London. He was a very popular figure in these parts, Ryan Higgins. Good cricketer, good all-round cricketer. Competitive, loves the heat of battle.
Slight interesting field here for Middlesex. Just the 3 fielders on the leg sides, 1 sweeper out, and then a short fine leg and mid on.
Yeah, he'll be pushing it across short. Who drives to Holden. Ball comes in to Joe Cracknell. He's back in the side. Good to see him doing so well from North Middlesex Cricket Club, along with Luke Holman. And He's been getting loads of runs in second 11 cricket this season. Once sung for the, I think it was the Pope, or was it the Queen? I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a big shout. Luckily, Short's got some bat on that. Otherwise, I think it would have been more than a polite inquiry.
Little
Maybe
inside edge.
Yeah,
perhaps.
maybe a little leg side as well. Apart from that, I thought it had a lot going for it. Yeah. 8 for none. 8 balls gone. Here's Higgins. Short goes over the top. It's going to spin away. That's Luke Holman as the boundary rider in the offside.
Yeah, sliced that one a fraction. I think was looking to perhaps go a little bit straighter, but perhaps with Higgins, as you mentioned earlier, trying to push the ball across the left-hander.
Yeah, with a 6-3 field, he's going to, isn't he? He's going to just be not allowing. Short loves that pick-up over mid-wicket as well, and they're just not allowing him to do that at all. Hammond just has to be watchful there to adjust.
Yeah, he played it well in the end. I think perhaps thoughts of looking to take on his ex-teammate inside the power play here, but he'll have faced up to Higgins a fair few times, and we'll know what to expect.
Stevie Eskenazi, the Middlesex skipper. Fine player. That's over the top from Hammond, and that's 6 runs into the Thatcher's bar and back out again. That's a lovely shot.
Yeah, gorgeous from Hammond there. Read the length early, fraction too full from Higgins, a little bit too straight as well. And no real risk from Hammond, who just sent that one soaring high into the sky, straight down the ground.
Yeah, popped in for a quick sider, popped back out again. Higgins. Oh, that's a big shout for LBW. Maybe going down, maybe a little bit high, but it was worth an inquiry. 15 for none after 2. Now, the last few T20 games here, the surface has been a little bit of a sticky dog. I covered the England disability game here in the week where England managed to sort of get 172, but really that was some poor bowling. The game against Hampshire here on the Friday night, Hampshire got 124 for 9, and it was only a last ball 6 from David Payne that got Gloucestershire out of jail. So it hasn't been conducive to stroke making.
Yeah, and with change of bowling here, Zafar Gohar into the attack. We'll see maybe how these two batters will fare against a bit of spin. As you mentioned, if it's a little bit sticky. Zafar Gohar, also another ex-Gloucestershire player, will know the ground well. Couple sweepers out on the leg side for the left arm spinner at cow corner and long on.
Yeah, very popular here. I used to chant "Ooh ah Zafar Gohar."
That's width. Well, not even too much width, but it's timed nicely out into the offside and just about beats the 2 fielders there to give Darcy Short his first boundary of the day.
Yeah, this is the quickest outfield in the country here. Chelmsford was pretty sharp on Friday night. That was like glass. Canterbury's pretty quick as well, but I still think that Bristol is the quickest outfield in the country.
Yeah, that one just kept going. Wasn't timed that sweetly from Short in the end. And they are just changing the field. The wicket's coming across into the offside just to protect that cover boundary, where pretty much all of Gloucestershire's runs, except one, have come from. That time flicked into the leg side, right where that man was. And Darcy Short just jogs down the other end to pick up a single.
Yeah, there's been a history in the last few years of players going between these two counties. George Scott was one who came to Gloucestershire. Tom Lace, another from Middlesex, applied his trade down here.
And again worked into the leg side for another simple single. And just sent in there by the fielder down at long on, Ben Geddes, towards Joe Cracknell. Gohar continues round the wicket here. And Short pulls that one nicely round the corner, will pick up a boundary for it as well. Spotted that length early, rocked back and just swiveled off his back foot to help it on its way round the corner. Runs are flowing now here at the Seat Unique Stadium. It's a lovely little shot there from Darcy Short. This time into the offside, but straight to that fielder there. An extra cover who'd come across from mid-wicket.
Yeah, Lewis Deploy came from Derbyshire. What a good signing he's been. What a good piece of recruitment. He's had a really good first season. Struggled a little bit perhaps this season, but he's one of the best players in county cricket.
That one's just helped on his way around the corner, and that'll be another boundary. That was a little bit surprising, just a feather past the keeper there from Darcy Short. And he picks up a boundary to end the over as well. Gloucestershire going very nicely at the moment. Runs are flowing here at the Seat Unique Stadium. They continue to flow.
Yeah, this looks like a different type of wicket. 14 off that over. It looks a different type of wicket to the one that Gloucestershire played Hampshire here on 2 weeks ago on the Friday. Middlesex haven't played in the second round of the T20 yet. Gloucestershire had a game in hand and they played on Friday night against Essex. Here's Josh Little. Straight over the top, Hammond, one bounce and into the family stand and almost takes out the Bracey family sitting downstairs.
Yeah, another really good shot by Hammond. Just sort of chipped that one pretty effortlessly straight down the ground.
Hammond cuts. Just the one here, it's gone to Holman. Thanks, Toby. Got my microphone in a dreadful tangle there. You're listening to me, Dan Whiting, Toby Reynolds, here from the Seat Unique Stadium in North Bristol. Here's Little, left arm over the wicket. And there it is. We had Little to short.
That's what we've been waiting for. It's taken us 3.5 overs, slightly surprisingly. Little, the Irish international. Very good left arm seamer. He's played in the IPL, played all around the world. Now applying his trade for Middlesex this season.
Shaw over the top, and that just about clears mid-on.
Yeah, a little bit of a lucky escape there for Darcy Short in the end.
Yeah,
Loose deploy, just not quite tall enough, as Short and Little's names suggest. And that's another boundary for the Aussie pro.
Yeah, that's where you need a Craig Overton. And Somerset often do employ him down at long off or long on. Full, and that's drilled to Deploy. Good flat throw comes in to Joe Cracknell with the gloves. Yeah, we spoke about Cambridge Granter. North Middlesex have been a real talent pipeline for the Middlesex side in recent years. Cracknell, Holman, Ethan Bamber, all coming through that club, and Max Harris as well, who's no longer with the county, but that's a pleasant shot. But straight to Eskenazi. End of the fourth, 38 without loss, and good start for the hosts.
Yeah, really good start. Hammond and Short had pretty good seasons so far. Short's high score 49 he made a couple of weeks ago now before the break. Similarly, Miles Hammond also yet to really dig in and pull out a big score, but he's made a lot of 20s, a lot of 30s, and has been chipping in a lot at the top of the order with some quick fire runs and just helping the Gloucestershire side set up at the top of the order. Still got a lot of batting to come as well to the home side. Cameron Bancroft likely in at 3. Is around the wicket. Comes Helmond, smashed down the ground again. Couple bounces, 1 bounce, 4. And again,
didn't get all of that, did he? Didn't get all of it.
It looked like it was soaring high. Well, it did soar high into the sky, but as you say, slight plink off the bat. Just 1 bounce, 4. Pretty safe shot in the end with both fielders inside the ring.
It can be a trick of the eye going down towards that end of the ground where you think the ball's going to end up in Filton, and it just plugs just short of the boundary rope.
Slow ball, I think, out the back of the hand from Helm that time, and just into the pads onto the leg side. Yeah, signalled as a leg by there by the umpire. Into the 40s, Gloucestershire now. Darcy Short 18 off 12 on strike. Miles Ham the other end 24 off 14 with that monstrous 6 down the ground we saw. Slow ball again there from Helm. It's just run down to third man. They scamper through for a quick single. Rotating the strike to bring Miles Hammond back on strike.
Yeah, I think on this surface you have to just go through your box of tricks and actually just try and vary it, because I think if you just put it in the same place ball after ball, I think it could well be carnage.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there, Dan. We've seen all the boundaries have pretty much been not slot balls, but it's been just smart batting. They've lent on ones that have had a fraction too much width with the pace on, and similarly with shots down the ground as well. Pace on has seemingly been very helpful to the batters so far compared to slow balls. That one's pace on, probably too high. Yeah, signal by the umpire wide there. Helm looking to go with pace on again, dug that one into the pitch and just flew over the head of Miles Hammond.
Yeah, what I can't understand there is the 2 fielders out in the power play. You've got a deep mid-wicket and a deep backwards square in Holman, and can't quite see who that is, but you've got no protection on the offside, and that was really a free hit for Miles Hammond if it connected with that.
That one's shorter again, this time into the body of Hammond, who just tucks it into the leg side. That's kind of where Helm has to bowl, really. It's his only option.
The ribs.
Yeah.
Into the ribs, yeah.
It's the only option, as you mentioned, Dan, with the 2 fielders out on the leg side. They stay out there for Short as well. So we assume it'll have to be pretty similar ploy here for the other left-hander. And that's, a little bit wider. Short flirts with it outside his off stump, almost tempted to try and guide that one through third man. And then we see him post the shot, just rehearsing a different shot completely, and a massive swipe across the leg side.
Not only did he flirt with it, he fluttered his eyelids at it and said, "Do you come here often?"
Yeah, I think he realises in hindsight that vacant area through sort of a wide mid-on is the opportunity here. Slow ball again from Helm out the back of the hands. That's just turned out to deep square leg towards Luke Holman to end the over. 47 without loss here, Gloucestershire. Darcy Short 20 or 15. Miles Hammond, a bit more expansive, 25 he's made.
Is that Navya Sharma, I think, running on the drinks as 12thers?
I think it might be.
He's had a really good start to his professional career. Got wickets in the week in the win against Leicestershire. I think he's from Sunbury Cricket Club, and he's won without a doubt for the future. He's a really good prospect the Middlesex have got coming through.
Yeah, made his T20 Blast debut this season as well against Essex, and then played against Surrey a week later as well, or a couple of days later as well, sorry. A day later even, I think it might have been a Thursday, Friday back-to-back game for Middlesex in London. Higgins will be returning to the attack here from the pavilion end, with Darcy Short to face up.
Yeah, and he comes, bustling in past umpire Hassan Adnan, and that's screamed down the ground by Short. That's the 50 up, and it's not looking good for the visitors, this.
No, very much not. That wasn't too much wrong with that one from Higgins, perhaps a fraction too straight. He does have a little bit more protection on the leg side, but both fielders who are outside the ring in this final over the power play are both very square at deep square and deep cover.
Higgins, Short cuts venomously to backward point, and fielder there can't quite.
Ben Geddes, I think that is.
Yeah, he's a good fielder actually. Can't quite gather it cleanly, and the ball dribbles out to Luke Holman, who keeps it down to 1. Geddes, having arrived from Surrey last winter, he's a really good player. He's another really good bit of recruitment from Middlesex. That's tickle round the corner. That's the wrong line there by Higgins, and Hammond. Well, it's a bit buffet bowling, bit smorgasbord bowling. It's help yourself time.
Yeah, that one was just pretty simple for Hammond to just flick on its way, pick up another boundary. Not too much work having to be done by that left-hander there.
Get his old side, Surrey. They're the visitors here on Wednesday. We'll be covering that one, but come down and support the boys. Oh, that's well bowled. Dot ball.
Yeah, better that time from Higgins. Perhaps just probably pitching just outside leg to even trouble the umpire.
We've got a podcast out via the club called Being Glorious, and the players all say the crowd here in Bristol is so important to them. And you can get your tickets at www.glossccc.co.uk and come down, support the boys against Surrey. Higgins, it's punched off the back foot to Holden at extra cover. He's a delight to watch, Max Holden.
Yeah, they missed him for the first few games of the season and did struggle a little bit without him. He's pretty crucial to their season last year.
Yeah, he was with the England Lions.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, saw him get, I think, got 100 down at Canterbury, I'm pretty sure.
He did indeed. Very, very impressive. Just coming into his sort of prime now, mid-late 20s.
That's whipped. Last ball of the power play, and that will be a single. So Gloucestershire end the power play on 57 without loss, and they'll be pretty pleased with that, I think.
Yeah, very much so. It's been a very good start here at the Seat Unique Stadium. Absolutely flying the home side here, having been put into bat as well. Eskenazi said at the toss that they wanted to have a little bit of look at the surface. No, it's a good pitch though, a new pitch, and so they'll be looking to try and chase whatever they can give themselves here with the ball. We see a slight change of bowling, some spin now from Luke Holman.
Yeah, leg spin. Yeah, Holman got 100 in that. He was one of 3 centurions in the England Lions side. Tom Haynes and Dan Mosley being the others as well.
Yeah, 3 very exciting English talents there.
Yeah, Luke Holman, North London boy from Archway. AFC Wimbledon fan though.
Interesting, quite a long way down there. In comes Holman, driven nicely. First up by Hammond, out towards the cover boundary.
His dad Peter, big AFC Wimbledon fan as well. I'm sure he's watching, so I'm sure he's here, but if he's not, hope you're well, Peter. Holman
continues with his right arm over. turns the ball back in, and that was just helped down the ground there nicely by Short. Couple bounces out towards long on. Holman has been pretty crucial over the last few years here for Middlesex with wickets through the middle. And that time by Hammond again, one bounce out towards long on.
Yeah, I covered Luke Holman get a century, his maiden century against Kent at Lords in the county championship. He's batting up the order, and I think that's what he'll end up being, a batter who bowls a bit of leg spin.
That time fielded nicely off his own bowling there from Holman, got down well low to his left. Short unable to get off strike there.
He's opened the batting for years for North Middlesex in a very strong Middlesex County Premier League.
That time cut away nicely, he's going to race away for 4. Brilliant shot there from Darcy Short. Just rocked back and slashed that one through the offside.
That was poor fielding from the steward out there. More interested in his chair than the ball. I'll have to get him down to nets on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned you think Holman will probably move up the order. I think that has been discussed throughout the season a little bit. A lot of the time with spinners, as ways to just try and get them in, they often are thrown up the order. They have to really rely on their batting, particularly early season. And it is something he can offer, that little bit, well, not a little bit of spin, more than a little bit of spin alongside his batting. That one's just pushed into the leg side. Inventive there from Holman to try and run out Darcy Short, but he misses the stumps in the end and ends the over. 65 without loss now, Gloucestershire. 7 overs gone. A little bit slower that last over outside the power play, but nothing you don't expect. These two left-handers, you can see balls going absolutely everywhere around the ground here at the Seat Unique Stadium in Bristol.
Yeah, Middlesex have got some, there's the run rate on your screen there, and you'll see it's sort of steady 9 really, isn't it? So, but Middlesex have got options in the spin department. Obviously the signing of Zafar Gohar from Gloucestershire over the winter, Holman, Nathan Fernandez, and men that they had to release last year, Tilan Walalawita. Here's Josh Little. And that's just helped on its way by Darcy Shaw. He might get, no, it's just going to be a couple down to what Ian Randall calls Klinger corner. The area favoured by Michael Klinger during his time here.
Yeah, a smart little shot there from Short. It wasn't a particularly easy length to play. It didn't get up off the pitch, but it wasn't simple to just flick off the pads either. So he did well to work that one around the corner for a couple.
Short drives up to Higgins at mid-off. There's a gap over the top of Ryan Higgins. There's no boundary rider at long off. So any width, it wouldn't surprise me if Darcy Short biffs it down the ground. Although he does like that pick up over mid-wicket. Working now, one past Max Holder, backward point. They're thinking about 2, and no. Darcy Short barbecued Ollie Price on Friday night pretty badly, and I think he's just being a little bit on the conservative side.
Very much so, yeah. It was another smart piece of batting there from Short. Gave himself a little bit of room, backing away towards the leg side. I think with perhaps the intent, as you were mentioning, Dan, to go over the offside. Instead, just ran that one down to third man.
Little to Hammond, who thinks about a single, but Short refuses him. So I'm getting my Shaw and my Shorts mixed up here.
Yeah, again Hammond giving himself a little bit of room with that one, just shuffling around the crease. Definitely the area both of these two batters will look to target over the top of mid-off, over the top of extra cover. Pretty short boundary straight down the ground.
That's up in the air. That could well be out. That's not going to go all the way. Oh, it's a great effort out in the deep. Luke Holman. It's a fantastic effort, but there's a little bit of wind here, and I'm wondering if that's gone into the wind and just foxed the Archway lad.
Yeah, he found the gap right between the two fielders out there at cow corner and long on.
Here's Little. To short. Who wants a single, but good bit of fielding by the stumps at the non-striker's end. End of the 8th, 69 without loss. Good over that for Middlesex, just 4 off it. Where do you think Gloucestershire want to be at the 20 over stage?
Yeah, it's a really tricky one to gauge. I think they'll be obviously very happy with the position they're in at the moment. None down is pretty much probably the most important thing within it, and they'll look to try and expand from here with their strength and depth in the rest of their batting. We've obviously mentioned Cameron Bancroft, Cardi's coming at 3, but below him Ollie Price, Jack Taylor, Ben Charlesworth, all can be very, very explosive when needed. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see the order shuffled around a little bit if these two keep going. You think 200 is perhaps on the cards? They're going at 9s at the moment, just under 9s, 8.6. But they have been pretty easily picking up boundaries when they've been looking for them.
Yeah, Marchant de Lange just running on drinks to his teammates.
Holman continues. That one's smashed down to the leg side. Has it got enough? Yes, it does. 6 runs there for Miles Hammond. Lovely little slog sweep to send that one down towards the mound stand.
That's a big old hit, that is.
Yeah, long leg side boundary here at the moment. The pitch is quite a long way over to the left from where we're sat in the pavilion. And that one was huge. Not even a chance there for the fielders on the boundary there. This time along the floor out into the leg sides. Thoughts of 2, but happy to settle for the single as Miles Hammond moves into the 40s now, his highest score in the competition this year.
Yeah, Geddes quickly and off that line there, keeps them down to 1.
Short down the ground this time, up in the air, flat, that's 6 runs. Just whips that one straight down the ground. That is brilliant from short. It looked like it was almost just going to dribble out towards the fielder at long off, but he fully got a hold of that one and just sent that one flat down the ground out into the crowd.
Yeah, that's the shortest boundary on the ground there, down towards the Jack Russell stand. And it was a flat 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost takes out a few of the crowd down there. Dot ball this time from Holman, 6-1-6 dot.
Don't worry about the crowd here. As long as they don't spill their cider, they're all right. They're all right.
That's the worry. If you get hit by a ball, it'd be impressive to keep hold of the cider.
They can do it, I tell you. They can multitask.
Short into the offside this time. Just picks out the fielder at extra cover. Eskenazi, I think that is. This one's huge into the leg side again. Another 6, 3 6s in the over now. Short is joining in the fun. He's moved into the 40s as well. Another monstrous 6 here.
Yeah, his head coach Mark Lane will be pleased about that as the ball goes into the stand named after him. And that's a big over. 19 off the over.
88 without loss, Gloucestershire now. Still 11 overs to go. Both batters in the 40s. Hammond 40 off 25, Short 46 off 29. As you mentioned, that last over's really spiked the run rate, almost at 10s. And these two are absolutely flying. Just pretty effortless the way they've been batting so far today.
Yeah, I see Mark Ramprakash has left his role as batting coach at Middlesex. Was it yesterday or maybe Friday? I can't remember. All the days merge into one when you're having T20 fun. Here's Tom Helm from the pavilion end. Slower ball, well bowled. And Hammond gets something on it and the ball dribbles out into the leg side for a single.
Yeah, it was very, very good effort to just even get anything on that. Deceived massively, backing away. Again, trying to give himself some space to go over the offside. Just manages to get through for the single. It's going to be a lot of pace off from Helm here. He's got both fielders inside the ring behind square.
In he comes, and that's screamed out through the covers by the Western Australian. And just a single. We spoke about Helm coming from Chesham Cricket Club along with Dominic Goodman. They've provided another 2 players to the first class game. Rafi Weatherall at Northamptonshire, who's a really good young prospect. I like the look of him. And Yusuf Majid, the slow left armour at Surrey. So well done, Chesham Cricket Club. Is Helm. Or is that? No. Hammond targeting the Kennington Avenue side of the ground, targeting the ice cream van.
Yeah, lucky to escape without even a feather on the ball there. Just whistled past Hammond. They are changing the field, dropping back fine leg, bringing up long off. So there is that space over the offside again now, if Hammond wants to exploit it.
Slower ball again, well bowled by Tom Helm. Just rolling his fingers across it, that's the off cutter.
Yeah, it's been really smart this over so far from Helm. He's received a little bit of tap in his first 2, but he's done well to fight back into the game this over. And again, adjusting his field, bringing up fine leg and dropping back long off. Just trying to play on the mind here of Hammond as much as anything else, I reckon.
Oh, that's close to Eskenazi, and Higgins can't get round to cut it off. And it runs away to the corner of the mound stand.
Only just missed Eskenazi there.
I thought he'd put that straight down Eskenazi's throat. He'll know, well, Hammond hit that, but Eskenazi, Western Australian, he'll know all about Darcy Short, Cameron Bancroft, and no doubt Cameron Green, who was here earlier in the season as well. Slower ball, Hammond just tickles it into the leg side, and Josh Little collects, throws the ball into Cracknell. The halfway stage, Gloucestershire 95 without loss, and I think they'll be targeting 200 plus here.
Yeah, I think that's got to be on the cards with how well they've been going so far. Zafar Gohar has been tossed the ball again. He's not had the best first over, returning to the Seat Unique Stadium. He's played well so far this season, always very, very useful bowler for both Middlesex now and for Gloucestershire previously. Went for 14 off his first over though. Bowling to Miles Hammond from the Ashley Down Road ends. 3 out on the leg side, 1 out straight down the ground at long off, and a sweeper on the offside as well. That one swept hard, but straight out to the fielder at deep backward square leg.
Yeah, Zafar Gohar, as an overseas player here at Gloucestershire, signed for Middlesex and became UK qualified, which raised an eyebrow or two in the West Country, it has to be said.
Yeah, I remember there was a little bit of talk about him maybe playing for England at some stage. Short's helped on round the corner, could be enough on it to go for 4. No, Max Holden's quick across the ground out there, and they just get the 1 for it. He's only 30. Zafar Gohar, so he does have every opportunity to play international cricket again. Played a couple games for Pakistan before. That was down the leg side, wide signalled by the umpire. Hammond just shuffling across his stumps a fraction again. We've seen him do it to great effect so far today. Across the stumps again, this time just prods that one out into the offside.
Yeah, as I said, Middlesex are playing Gloucestershire at Merchant Taylor's School over in Northwood. They also use Radlett now as an outground.
Short just turns out into the leg side. They're going to push for two here. Turned down in the end. They just get the single, but that does bring up the 100 for Gloucester as well. 10.4 overs. They've been absolutely flying, these two. The crowd applauds what they've seen so far today. 10.4 overs, just 40 minutes it's taken the home side. With boundaries galore as well. That was hit out into the leg side, straight to Holden in the end though. Simple catch for Max Holden. And Miles Hammond will be disappointed with that one. They've just brought up the 100. He was only a couple away from his half century. And in the end, he's heading back to the changing rooms, offering a pretty tame dismissal after a very impressive, very expansive 48.
Yeah, I think Holden just had a little juggle at that one, which is surprising because he's a fantastic fielder. So this brings Cameron Bancroft to the wicket. So the pair of Western Australians out in the middle. But going back to outgrounds, Middlesex have used a few in the past. Uxbridge was one of the quickest wickets in the country. They often used to play sides from the West Country as well at Old Deer Park at Richmond, and they've also used the wonderful, the magnificent, the glorious Walker Ground at Southgate. I have to say that, it's my home ground.
I mean, yeah, with outgrounds as well. Cheltenham Festival,
Yeah.
not far away now.
Sussex in the T20 there on the 17th of July. See ex-Middlesex man John Simpson bring his troops to Cheltenham.
One ball remains in the 11th over here. Zafar Gohar to bowl to the new batter, Cameron Bancroft. Chips down the ground first up. Will be 4 runs. Almost offering a caught and bowled opportunity there for Gohar. And in the end gets off the mark with a lovely boundary straight down the ground.
Play yourself in, bangers.
The 2025 Towergate Cheltenham Cricket Festival starts next week.
It was close to cool and bold. Tell you what, I want to stuck my hand out and taken it off. There we go, there's the Cheltenham Cricket Festival for you on your screen. Starts on the 17th of July with a double header against Sussex Sharks, women and men. And then the women against Middlesex on the 20th. And then Middlesex in a 4-day game, or Lancashire in a 4-day game, Middlesex in a 4-day game. And then wrapping up in the Metro Bank against Derbyshire. But I think Middlesex fans, if you haven't come to Cheltenham, 2 hours out of West London, come down the A40. Holman's going to have a little go from the pavilion end. And that is 50 for Darcy Short. 33 balls, 6 fours, 2 sixes. And he had a little bit of a slow start to his Gloucestershire career. But I tell you what, he's getting runs every game now.
Yeah, first 50 of the season. Beats his previous high score of 49 and has looked very, very good.
Holman. Ooh, he's got 4. That was the googly, and that was, I would say, a moral victory there to the bowler. Bancroft just about got something on that, and luckily for him he did, because I reckon he's going to beat LBW if he hadn't. Yeah,
only just manages to escape there, but either way he's off the mark very, very well, Cameron Bancroft. Back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, Middlesex fans, do come to Cheltenham. You'll have a great time. It's a wonderful venue. There's so much going on. It's not just about the cricket. There's all hubs with talks going on and all sorts as Bancroft plays one to long on. And it is just it's got a magic all of his own. You know, Jack Russell said it is one of the grounds in the country. And, you know, who knows with the scheduling for county cricket, with what's going on, how many more years of Cheltenham Festival we've got. Cut by Short. He's going to get 2 here. Geddes has a lot of ground to cover out in the deep.
Yeah, he's all out on his own out there. And as you mentioned, that's a charge all the way around to his left. Straight to go and collect that one.
That's a monster. Darcy into the car park. And I think it's popped under the ice cream van for a 99 flake. Bit of the piranhas there. That's gone a long way. So I think it's in somebody in Kennington Avenue's back garden.
Yeah, you got to watch out if you're out there in the queue for the food trucks in the car park.
Yeah, although there's a county championship game here, as that's cut just straight to backward point. In the over, 118 for 1 at the end of the 12th. Yeah, the cars normally park in that car park in county championship games, and my co-commentator Ian Randall and the PA announcer here as well, he parked his car there, and Zaman Akhtar has just nailed it straight, and it was, we couldn't actually commentate that we were laughing so much. Luckily there was no damage, but we're always extremely careful, and especially at Cheltenham as well, where Jack Taylor's taken out a few cars over the years at Cheltenham. I wonder if he's got shares in either Autoglass or in the panel beating companies of North Gloucestershire.
Yeah, maybe a local company. It could be a good upstart for him, post-cricket career maybe.
Yeah, if you don't sponsor Jack Taylor, panel beaters, you can have your name on the back of his bat.
Cameron Bancroft facing up with little to continue. That was banged in short and pulled nicely by Bancroft, but straight down into the ground for a single. Little's hacking away at the pitch there. Obviously not happy with the way the footmarks building up on the wicket. Three sweepers out on the leg side. There's Little at deep square, deep mid wicket, long on, and then he's got 2 out on the off at third man and deep cover. That one's dug in short again, and Bancroft looks to try and sort of help it on its way and scoop it over the keeper, but can't lay a bat on it. Oh, Darcy Short that is, sorry.
Just having a look down there, the Taylor family. Jack Taylor's kids resplendent in their brand new Gloucestershire shirts.
Smash down the ground, doesn't beat the fielder though, and in the end, top ball as well.
That's great work by that's Ryan Higgins, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, really good effort down the ground. if it got past him, it was going to race away for much needed boundary here for Gloucestershire. A little bit quiet the last few deliveries.
Higgins is down here at short fine leg.
Cut away nicely from short.
Oh no, it is Higgins. It's Eskenazi down here. I'm misreading 28 for 29. You'd think I'd have learned to count by my age, wouldn't you?
Slight change in the field for the right-handed Bancroft. Fine leg coming in. It's got actually an almost identical field now. Fine leg is moving inside the ring, dropping back long on. It's dug in short and just carved away nicely out to Ben Geddes. I think that is on the cover boundary.
Yeah, 121 for 1 in the 13th, and Gloucestershire look like they're about to set Middlesex an imposing total here at the Seat Unique Stadium. 48 from Miles Hammond, 59 from Darcy Short. He's been aided and abetted by Cameron Bancroft.
Short again, and that one's smashed out into the leg side, and it beats the field of Ben Geddes out there on the rope. Much needed boundary to end the 13th over there. 125 for 1, Gloucestershire now. Lovely shot there from the Aussie pro.
Yeah, he just bullied it, didn't he? It wasn't that far away from Geddes, but just the power, the venomous timing has just got it over the rope.
Yeah, Wasp still has the predicted score at 198. 200 very much on the cards. Run rate a tick over 9.5 at the moment. Boundaries coming pretty fluently for the home side in this innings so far. Higgins is back into the attack. He's bowled 2 overs so far today, gone for 17. Took the new ball. It's now coming back in later in the game. Slightly different role for the former Gloucestershire star.
Here is Higgins. Bancroft works this one with a smidgen of bottom hand out to Josh Little at long on. Gloucestershire leg spinner Ed Middleton down below us in the posh seats. I expect nothing less of Ed. Higgins to Short. Has he got that one into the gap? No, he's just going to get one. Zafar Gahar running around and doing the fielding. There's a lady here at Gloucestershire called Michelle Garland, who was a massive fan of Zafar Gahar, and she was presented with a cardboard cutout, but they were trying to hide it from her, so they hid it in our marquee at Cheltenham. This is probably about 3 years ago. As Higgins comes in, and Bancroft cuts to Holman, and there's a famous photo of Zafar Gahar next to his cardboard cutout of Zafar Gahar in the marquee at Cheltenham. I'm sure he'll be back. Looking forward to having a bowl on that surface. One of those grounds, Cheltenham, which produces good cricket. Generally every day is like 300 for 10. Short cloths that one a little bit, but it's going to dribble down to Leas Deploy for a single. Eskenazi's got a few headaches out here. Middlesex need to keep this below 190. smashed by Bancroft. Can Little cut it off? Yes, he can. That's great work. Top work there from Josh Little. I thought that was 4 runs, and he's got around and done the business there.
Yeah, Middlesex have only passed 180 twice this year, and actually have lost both games. They made 186 against Sussex.
Pulled. One bounce out to Geddes. And another single to Bancroft, but he might feel that he's missed out there. Little's been a T20 specialist in recent years. Gujarat Titans. He's only 25, but he's from a cricketing family. 2 sisters, Hannah Little and Louise Little, played a game as well. And he's played Dambulla Giants, Manchester Originals, Pretoria Capitals, Gujarat Titans, Welsh Fire and Middlesex. From Pembroke Cricket Club in Dublin, where Middlesex have had a lot of links with Irish cricket over the years. People like Andrew Bell-Burney, Paul Sterling, Owen Morgan.
It's just slashed into the covers. They'll get through for a quick single there for Bancroft. Perhaps just skidded through a fraction there and troubled him for pace. He looked to try and squeeze that one through the offside. Brings the left-handed short back onto face. That one smoked out into the leg side. Another 6 for the Australian. Huge again out towards the mound stand. Short into the 70s now. He's been batting brilliantly so far today. Just picked up that one over the leg side. Onto 71. Goes the Western Australian. Smashed again, back-to-back 6s. Even further this time, just in front of the mound stand again. Absolutely massive here from Darcy Short. It's raining 6s in Bristol today.
Oh, Mr. Darcy.
The Middlesex team are just having a little chat here. You can see loose deploy Zafar Gohar and I think the skipper Stephen Eskenazi just having a little chat, trying to come up with a plan, trying to do anything here to try and slow Gloucestershire, slow Darcy Short down. Run rate up to 10s now for the first time this innings. That one's top edge. It's going to run away for 4 though. 6-6-4. That one's a little bit more fortuitous for Darcy Short, but he yet again picks up another boundary.
Yeah, nothing going the way of the North Londoners here in Bristol.
It's 12th boundary of the day for Darcy Short. And he's into the 80s. He spent just a couple balls in the 70s. And that one's flicked around the corner. He's going to challenge Holden on the boundary. He does really well to get around to it. But they do push and get a second. And brings up the 150 as well. 14.5 overs. Just under an hour this team has been batting for the home side. Absolutely racing to what could be a monstrous total. This one just guided behind square onto the offside to end the over with a dot ball. 151 for 1, Gloucestershire now.
Yeah, the 50 partnership as well in 4 overs.
I think the vast majority of that from Darcy Short.
Well, I think Bancroft needs to just try and give Darcy Short a strike.
Yeah, very much so. He's been batting so well. Bancroft himself has looked pretty decent, 17 off 10 at the moment, but it is the Darcy Short party today. Josh Little will be bowling his final over of the day today. An attempt to just try and change the game and slow Gloucestershire's momentum.
In he comes. Bancroft just works him around the corner, shy at the stumps. But Short's got the strike. And that's what Gloucestershire want. He's 17 shy of 100. If the last over's anything to go by, he might get it by the end of the over. Here's Little. Oh, he's going to be out here. That's straight up in the air to Eskenazi. And Short departs for a brilliant 83. He'll be applauded by this knowledgeable crowd here in Bristol, all the way back to the pavilion. But I thought Josh Little actually deserved that. I think he's bowled all right. He's gone into the pitch. I mean, he's in his 4th over and only conceded 21 runs. And in the scheme of this game, that's pretty parsimonious.
Yeah, very much so. He's been by far the miserliest of the bowlers. We've seen the majority of Middlesex's attack being carted around the ground today. But Little has shown his experience, shown why he gets those big contracts around the world.
Interesting move from Gloucestershire here, as they've retained the left-hander, as Ben Charlesworth's been promoted up the order. Normally would see Ollie Price at 4, or if you were going to get anyone in there, Jack Taylor possibly, who can hit a long ball, but Ben Charlesworth batted very well against Essex on Friday night, and his bowling has been really good this year. He's back bowling for the first time in 2 years after shoulder injuries, and it's good to see him.
I like
the success he deserves.
Yeah, I like the move, the left-right combo. We've seen, or you can see, a very short boundary to what is now the leg side of Charlesworth, so
yeah,
at least one of him or Bancroft can target it.
He likes that area as well. Oh, gets a big in-ducking Yorker first up. That's a cracking delivery from Little. You can't hit those for 6.
No, a hard start for Charlesworth at the crease.
But Josh Little there. But he's glad to see the back of Darcy Short. He'd have kissed the Blarney Stone for that one, I tell you. In he comes. Charlesworth plays this out to long on. Bancroft thinks about a second and then wisely turns it down with a good flat throw from Lees Deploy. Left-hander. Middlesex just changing the field. Zafar Gahar coming into the inner circle. Oh, that's intelligent cricket from Cameron Bancroft. Goes offside, ramps it over Joe Cracknell's head and runs away down towards the Ashley Down Road end for 4 runs. He's the thinking man's cricketer, Cameron Bancroft.
Yeah, great piece of ingenuity there. Just spotted that fine legs inside the ring and happy to use the pace of Little to help it on its way. Damages the Irish quicks figures a little bit, but he still bowled very, very tidily today. Final delivery for the left armour.
In he comes. Bancroft just works him into point where Zafar Gohar can't collect cleanly, so Little's going to finish with 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 27, and in the scheme of things I think that's more than respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see on the screen there the runs per over, the economies of this Middlesex attack, and to go under 7s when Gloucestershire have been so fluent and so expansive is very, very impressive. We still have Helm to bowl, still have Holman to bowl, still have Higgins to bowl, and still have Zafar Gohar to bowl, each with 1 over remaining for the final 4 here. They are going to Luke Holman, the leg spinner. It's been quite expensive, 41 from his first 3. He's bowling to the right-handed Bancroft now. Bancroft smashed down the ground. Strong hand from Holman there. But they get through for the single.
They make him tough in Archway, you know. It's not a place for the faint-hearted down there, especially the Archway Tavern.
Single off the first delivery here for Holman. That one's looked to be worked down the ground, but Charlesworth doesn't get a hold of it. Just slams it straight into the pitch and back towards the bowler. Yusufi, that's up in the air, it's high. Has he got enough on it? He does, six runs. Charlesworth goes big from the get-go here.
Yeah, Big Bad Ben biffs it over the boundary towards the Ashley Down Road end.
Yeah, about only a couple yards over the rope, but no opportunity for the fielders there, converging at Cow Corner. Use of feet again, this time flatter, but the same result. I think that's another 6. It is. Gloucestershire have shown why they promoted Charlesworth up the order here. Back-to-back 6s for the young left-handed bat.
It's a really good move. I don't know if it's Jack Taylor or Mark Lane who's been behind this move, but it's working.
And again, we're seeing the Middlesex senior players converging to chat and try and come up with a plan here.
16.4 overs gone. There's a cricket competition about that sort of thing, isn't there? Somewhere.
This one time down the ground on the offside. And almost taken, but 6 in the end, I think that is. 6, 6, 6. That's Ben Charlesworth. Yeah, Ben Charlesworth's number today.
Didn't Iron Maiden sing that? 666, the number of the beast. Ben the Beast Charlesworth.
Gives himself room, and this time just happy to dab that one into the offside and keep strike. 20 from the over. Holman goes for 61 from his 4 overs. And Gloucestershire 178 for 2 now. 17 overs gone, 3 overs to go.
What was that, 19? No, 20.
20 from the over, yeah, bang on. 2 singles to start and end the over with. 6, 6, 6 towards the end for Ben Charlesworth. Tom Helm.
Now Middlesex have got 3 overs left. Higgins has bowled 3, hasn't he? Helm's bowled 3.
And Zafar Gohar.
So Zafar's going to have to bowl one of those overs. That's big, but not big enough, I don't think. And Zafar can't get there. And it's all unravelling for the visitors here in Bristol. Should have made that, really.
Yeah, just sent that one high into the sky towards that short boundary, but didn't get enough on it. And Zafar Gohar made up a lot of ground to get there, but couldn't take hold in the end.
You can see there's a couple of sail flags behind Zafar, and you can see the wind is blowing in that direction. So that was into the wind from Charlesworth. Bowled him, Helm strikes. Charlesworth tries his luck once too often and departs for a bright and breezy 22 off just 9 balls. And that's good bowling from Tom Helm. Yorkers are the way forward this time of the game, and Gloucestershire are 180 for 3 with 16 balls to maximise this big total. And Jack Taylor is now walking out to the crease, and he won't hang around.
No, definitely not. We've seen how destructive the Gloucestershire captain can be, and he'll look to do exactly that just now. 180 they're on at the moment.
Jack Taylor is actually underwritten into the insurance policies of the cladding on those flats over in the far side. That's how much damage he's caused over the years to them down here.
Yeah, he's coming in at number 5, where he is often carded to and often does come in. We have seen a little bit of a shuffle of the pack here for the home side. Charlesworth promoted up the order, destructively so. 22 he's just gone for.
He put one through the window in the press box at Chelmsford on Friday night. He's a vandal. Here he is, about to face Tom Helm, and crunches that one out to Holman out in the deep for a single. Halfway through the 18th. Bancroft. I mean, it goes to show the carnage that's been on offer. I think Bancroft's been quite quiet, but he's still got 24 or 14.
Yeah, he's picked up boundaries just pretty consistently through without much effort.
He's still striking at 170 plus. Oh, that's well bowled from Helm. That could be 2 there. That's really good cricket. Jack Taylor just about gets back for 2. That's really good weight of shot there from Cameron Bancroft, and 2 experienced guys, the senior pros in that Gloucestershire dressing room, manufacturing 2 there.
Yeah, really quick between the wicket. You could see Taylor had that in his mind from the get-go.
Age is just a number, Taylor. It's just a number.
When are we seeing your call up then, Dan? That's the question.
I can barely run a bath these days, mate, I'm telling you. Helm. Taylor, Bancroft, sorry, works that to Little, and he'll just get 1. Where's Taylor targeting here? I reckon his own family could be in the firing line down there. Luckily his father Kevin Taylor's down there, who's played a good stand of the club cricket, so he'll protect the kids. And that's up in the air, but they'll scamper through. That's really clever cricket from Tom Helm. That's a good over from him. The wicket of Ben Charlesworth, and just 2s and 1s from the over, and Middlesex will take that at this stage of the game. 185 for 3 with just 2 overs left here at the Seat Unique Stadium. You listen to me, Dan Whiting, and Toby Reynolds here in Bristol, as Gloucestershire look like they're going to set a whopping total here, don't they?
Yeah, very much so. 185 at the moment. Wasp has the prediction down at 208. And they've been absolutely flying. The skipper, Jack Taylor, on strike now. They're going with Ryan Higgins to bowl the penultimate, which means Zafar Gohar will be tasked with taking the last over for his left arm spin.
That's a big call, isn't it? I'm not sure the Middlesex have got that one quite right.
Yeah, they probably should have looked to try and use him up a little bit earlier and You then maybe could have had Helm to bowl this one,
or
Little as well, yeah.
Bowler 19th and 20th between them.
Higgins in now. And Taylor just fires that one down the ground for a single. Brings Bancroft back onto strike now. Fielders outside the ring are all pretty straight. Got deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and deep cover. And we're now seeing a little bit of change of the field with third man going out as well. And deep backward point, actually, by the looks of it, with deep cover coming inside the ring. So we can't offer any width here, can Higgins? That does what he offers, but he gets away with it as that one just pings the fielder in the chest there at cover.
Ouch.
Ben Geddes there. Just leapt a little bit off one of the used wickets, I think. He does well to get his body behind it, though. It's a different type of long barrier than I've seen.
Another one who's made their way from Gloucestershire to Lords is Meg Lay, the grounds staff, who is one of the finest members of the ground staff community in the country, and will go on to big things, I think.
That one's sliced over the field there. They won't quite pick up 4 for it, Will Taylor, but he's going to get back for 2. Well fielded by Little down there, scampering round from deep backward point. Taylor's looking to go big down the ground here, but he's yet to connect with one. 189. Gloucestershire with 9 balls to go.
Yeah, he's been in good form, Jack Taylor.
Across his stumps, and he smokes that one down the ground. It's going to be just one bounce, actually, even straight out to the fielder down there at long on, Max Holden.
Middlesex just pulling this back a little bit. They won't mind 1s and 2s at this stage. It's the boundaries that they need to cut off.
That one's driven by Bancroft, straight to the fielder. He sets off for the run, could be run out. That's missed the stumps, I think, there is Higgins. I don't know if Bancroft was home already, but he looked to try and take the bails and possibly just missed them.
Yeah, I think 7 wickets in the Hearts, you take a few chances. Yeah, he has missed it.
Yeah.
You just take a few chances, don't you? You know, there's 7 balls left.
Every run counts. Final ball of Higgins's spell here. Across the stumps from Taylor. Guides that one down to third man. They'll get through for the single to end Higgins over there. He's gone for 31 without a wicket in his 4. 192 for 3, Gloucestershire. 1 over to go. Zafar Gohar to bowl it, you have to assume. Yeah, his cap's off. He's been given the ball. One over to go. You can see the Manhattan on the screen. The number of huge overs from Gloucestershire so far today. 18, 19, 20.
Is that the Manhattan? I thought it was the town centre of Basildon.
There's a few sky risers in Basildon, if that's what, what you're looking at then down with some of the overs we've seen today.
Sure, there's a few of the Middlesex contingent watching who've been so good in the media centre this year. Always a warm welcome there. Steve Fletcher and the team at Middlesex do a fantastic job. Here's Zafar Gohar, last over. And Taylor clubs this out to Little at long on. 193 for 3. Wasp showing 203 now. Bancroft heaves this across the line. He's played prettier shots in his career, but he'll get one. Taylor will go down the ground. The rope's in quite a long way at the pavilion end. That's gone up in the air, but it's going to be out. Geddes is underneath it and doesn't make any mistake. Jack Taylor departs for 8, perishing in the pursuit of quick runs, and Zafar Gahar picks up his 2nd wicket of the innings on his return to the Seat Unique Stadium, and Ollie Price marches out for 4 balls. 3 balls. 3 balls, yeah. 3 balls left.
Yeah, he's had a good season as Price. He won't have much opportunity here.
He'll sweep this.
You reckon that's on the cards? Regulation, lap, slog?
Probably regulation sweep. He'll sweep this. He's got more sweeps than Trigger's broom, Ollie Price.
Well, we'll see what your call's like then, Dan. And see what Ollie Price can offer. 3 balls to go. 194 for 4 Gloucestershire. 200 very much still on the cards. It will require a little bit of force here from the home side.
3 balls left. And he's crunched that for 6. Into the mound stand, 1 bounce. We didn't sweep it, but he...
It's a slog sweep, I'd say. I'll give it to you, Dan.
He'll take that. He'll take that, and I'll take that.
I think Ollie Price will very much take that. 6 from the first ball. 200 up for the home side here, Gloucestershire as well. 2 balls still to go to really pile on the runs against Middlesex.
Here's Price. He's gone again. And just short of the rope. Twice for Price. And that brings up the 200. Kent got 208 on this ground though in the first T20 of the season, and Gloucestershire responded with 204. So nothing is sacrosanct on this ground. It can be very hard to defend. Where's Price going here? I reckon Zafar's going to push it wide of his off stump. And it's gone up in the air, and he's going to be out. It's a good catch by Leas Deploy, and Price departs for 10 off 3 balls, and Zafar gets his 3rd wicket. Gloucestershire finish up on 204 for 4 off their 20 overs, and that's a decent effort, isn't it, Toby?
Yeah, absolutely. More than decent, Dan, I'd say. Absolutely massive total. Middlesex have reached 200 just once this season so far in a game they did end up losing to Sussex, I think it was. Sorry, to Somerset. But yeah, Gloucestershire, what a brilliant innings from them. Marshalled by Darcy Short throughout. 83 from 48 he made. Brilliant from him, but top opening partnership alongside Miles Hammond, first up, 48. The Gloucestershire opener made, and then Bancroft 30 not out as well. It's just gone under the radar a little bit alongside the likes of Ben Charlesworth, who made 22. Jack Taylor, the skipper, chipped in as well, and even at the end there, Ollie Price 10 from 3. Invaluable, that's got to be.
Yeah, well, the Middlesex seamers all bowled quite tidily. Helm 4 overs, 1 for 30. Higgins none for 31. Little 1 for 27. It was the spinners. Zafar Gahar went 3 for 54. Luke Holman none for 61. We're going to take a break while they roll apples, as they do in the West Country, over the outfield, and we'll be back in 5 minutes or so to see how Middlesex respond to Gloucestershire's 204 for 5.
sound too short. And he's got to keep a closer control on that one, Ollie. Good turn for both of them. First turn is key. Bernardo needs a bit of help from the cricketers. Ollie's taking a slightly very park. Oh, Bernardo, you've got to keep control of it. Here's the crossover. Alicia's pulling away here. Come on, Kate. Come on, Kate. Think of the Olympics. Come on. Think of Paris. Think of Tokyo. You don't want a silver medal again. Ollie and Alicia bring it home. I've got to be honest. Kate had a lot of making up to do. Bernardo really let team one down there. Come on. But handshakes all round. Yeah. Ollie, Alicia, how do you feel? Wonderful. Alicia, you must be very proud of that effort.
It means a lot to me, to be honest.
It could. What did you think of the effort of your opponents? They're friends of yours, I assume?
Yeah, they are friends of ours. I think Kate did an amazing job. It's a shame her teammate didn't let it down.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. Ollie, first time here or are you regulars?
My second time here, but it's great to win this time.
Good. You can tell your face. All right, many congratulations. All right, you won a big lopsided. So many congratulations, Ollie and Alicia, winners today. Commiserations to Bernardo and Kate. Great to have a silver medalist from the Olympics with us, though, here at the City. Let's see how Gloucestershire face up in this second innings, setting Middlesex 205 runs to win from 120 balls. Keep your support going. It's a big, big game. Welcome back, match umpires Hassan Adnan and Paul Baldwin. The Middlesex opening batters, number 28, Stephen Eskenazi, and number 87, Kane Williamson. Led out by Captain Jack Taylor. Please welcome back your glorious Gloucestershire.
Welcome back to the City Stadium as Stevie Eskenazi and Kane Williamson make their way to the middle, and they'll have to face one of the finest white ball opening bowlers in the country in David Payne, who just takes wickets for fun and is parsimonious as well. My name's Dan Whiting and I'm here with Toby Reynolds. Toby, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Very, very happy to see a brilliant first innings, particularly from a Gloucestershire front. Middlesex with the big task ahead of them now, but they do have two of the best T20 batters in the blast at the crease right now. Stephen Eskenazi's been around for a while, knows exactly how to to start a chase if he can. And Kane Williamson, just one of the best players ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's a modern day great, isn't he? Here's David Payne from the pavilion end to Eskenazi, and a little bit of in-swing, and Eskenazi just pushes that out to Graham Van Buren in the covers. Yeah, I mean, you think of 10 years ago, the greats, and there was a sort of the Fab Four, wasn't there? There was Root, there was Williamson, Steve Smith, and Coley?
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
He was great 10 years ago.
Oh, he's got himself into a tangle there. He's going to get one, but David Payne had him in about 4 minds.
Yeah, the ball's swinging around a little bit, but we didn't see it much of that at all, I don't think, in the first innings. But Payne, a brilliant exponent of the new ball.
We've got Gloucestershire chair Peter Matthews going to be on shortly as well. He's going to come and join us on air. Payne just tinkering with his field. Him and Jack Taylor, the think tank in this side. Payne again shapes one into Williamson, who drives up to Miles Hammond at mid-off, whose hair is more of a white now, having been pink for Sid Day. First game back here for Gloucestershire in the T20 since the sad passing of David Lawrence. Again, David Payne on the money. You don't have to be quick, you just have to put the ball in the right areas, and there's no better protagonist in the country than David Payne at that.
Yeah, you mentioned you've leading wicket taker in the Blast last season, dominant with that and pretty economical, going at about 6s I think as well, so he knows how to bowl in this competition.
Just turned into the leg side, but this is tidy from David Payne, the man known as Sid. Josh Shaw looks like he's warming up at the sort of short fine leg down at the Ashley Down Road end. Just turned into the onside, and Charlesworth looks like he's hurt his hand now, if he's all right. Oh, it's Darcy Short. I just saw the 6 on the front and presumed it was Charlesworth. I'm forgetting Darcy Short's number 62 as well. But that's a tidy over from David Payne, just one off it, and exactly the start that Gloucestershire wanted.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Set over 200 and then just go for 2 runs off your first over. It's not a bad effort for the home side here at the Seat Unique Stadium. Couple fielders outside the ring. In comes the ball. That was just pushed out into the offside for a single. First up, Josh Shaw taking the new ball from the Ashley Down Road end.
Josh Shaw's been such an important member of this side. Last year, Gloucestershire's route to becoming Vitality Blast champions, he was instrumental in that. His bowling in the quarter-final and on finals day just got better and better as it went along, and it's no surprise that I'll come on to it after this ball.
But straight that time, that was powered down the ground. First boundary for Middlesex there.
But it's no surprise that Gloucestershire, you know, they lost the first 5 games and Josh Shaw wasn't in the side, and since he's returned to the side, they've won every game.
He's just shored up the bowling attack, hasn't he?
Now. I've got the copyright on really bad dad jokes here. But I like it.
In comes Shaw again. Bit of width on offer, and that one slashed over the offside. Back-to-back boundaries. Eskenazi with another 4 there. 4 offshore.
Yeah, Middlesex do need a really good start to the power play, because Gloucestershire ended up 57 without loss off theirs, and I think Middlesex need parity.
Yeah, very much so. It didn't even feel like Gloucestershire were going that hard in the power play. They just found boundaries with ease as much as anything else. Shaw in again now, and that one's another boundary, I think. Just chipped down the ground. Couple bounces, 4. Simple from Eskenazi there. Just sort of lent on that one, and as I say, chipped it down the ground. 4-4-4.
Yeah, this pitch is relentless. You just get it slightly wrong and you get punished. Could be a bowler, hey?
These are the days for batters, aren't they?
It's a bowler's graveyard.
Now down the leg side, it's going to be another boundary. Is it signalled as a wide, or is there a further leg by in the end?
Oh, he's got away with that.
A little tickle on Eskenazi's pad as that one flew away to the rope down towards us in the pavilion end. Nothing could be done behind the stumps there from Cameron Bancroft.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, turning to an expensive over now. 17 from it so far. 1 ball to come. That's huge. Straight down the ground. 1 bounce, 4 in the end. Think into that wind that we've seen quite a bit of today. That's 5 fours from that boundary in the end. 22 runs from it.
Yeah, we've interviewed Josh Shaw in the latest episode of Being Glorious, the podcast, which is out this week, and he's lost his bucket hat and he's putting out a reward for it. So if you tune into the podcast, you can find out if you can give you any information regarding the missing bucket hat of Josh Shaw, because there's not many people, you know, who are synonymous with the bucket hat in recent years. As David Payne comes in, that's gone for 6. Down below us, Ed Middleton shaping to catch it in the seats in front of us. And making a couple of ladies laugh. He's alongside.
Yeah, just with ease, Williamson launches that one down the ground. They're going to have to just have a look at the ball. It's taken a bit of a battering already. The other umpire's being called in as well.
That was just sheer timing though, wasn't it? Williamson, what a lovely shot. You know what I like about Kane Williamson though, is not only is he a fine player, but the way he's handled himself as well. Thought, you know, when we beat them in the World Cup final, there was no whining or anything like that. He just took it, and I mean, it'd be easy to moan about the overthrow of Stokes' bat, wouldn't it? You know, and to have a whinge about that, but he didn't. He just took it and said, well done, and for that he's got my utmost respect. Payne. Oh, he has a fiddle at that.
Yeah, very un-Kane Williamson shot that, just dangling his bat outside the off stump. Payne has often looked to swing the ball back in, targeting the stumps. That one just pushed across the right-hander. Nips away a fraction off the pitch, I think, as well. And Williamson almost falling into the trap.
Be interesting to see who takes the next over from the Ashley Down Road end. Will it be the pace of Ajit Singh Dale, or will it be Matty Taylor? Payne just into the pads. 2 men out in the power play. Looks like Ollie Price and Ben Charlesworth, the usual suspects. Payne in, and just dropped into the offside, and they'll come through for a single. It's actually Ollie Price and Darcy Short out mid-wicket. Yeah, Charles Worth at backward point. But Middlesex just giving Gloucestershire a headache or two here. That's short and controlled hook to Ollie Price. Saw his brother Tom downstairs, had a little chat with him. The only cricketer in history to score 100 and take a hat-trick on the same day.
It's not a bad record to have, is it?
No. Eskenazi just showing Payne his stumps. And Middlesex 33 without loss at the end of the third. Game on, Toby.
Yeah, very much so. Middlesex have not had the strongest batting season so far. I already mentioned that they've only passed 170 twice this season with the bat, actually losing both games, and they've only made it to 200 once in a loss to Somerset as they scored 229, but then Somerset chased it down with 4 balls remaining. So it's going to be a tricky chase here for the visitors. They do have a bit of batting to come as well. Max Holden recently rejoining the sides, played only 4 games this season. Ben Geddes has had a good time at it. So we will see change of bowling here. Singh Dale in now. Comes across the scumps there, does Eskenazi, looking to scoop that one over the leg side. In the end, adapts and squeezes that one down through third man. I'm not really sure what to call that shot. It was a sort of French cricket-esque shot almost.
It Fox Josh Shaw at short third, who ended up on his derriere.
Might have even glanced that one between his own legs there. Eskenazi, we've seen him do that a couple of times already today. He's going well, 22 off 10 at the moment though. That could be another 4, it will be. 4 runs off the inside edge of Stephen Eskenazi. It's very, very unlucky for Gloucestershire there. Singh Dale absolutely nailed the Yorker that time, it looked like, but the faintest of edges took that one away from a diving Bancroft behind the stumps.
Middlesex offering the Surrey cut.
Shorter this time, Eskenazi looks to try and hoik that one through the leg side, but can only pick out the fielder there at mid-wicket, Graham Van Buren.
I know Middlesex's spinners were expensive, but I think this is pace off here. I think it's time for Graham Van Buren, for Ollie Price.
Maybe even the skipper, Jack Taylor, could offer
a
bit of off-spin if needed. Singh Dale in again, and brilliant stop there in the covers. Strong hand there, stopped an inevitable boundary. I think that's Darcy Short, isn't it? Price.
No, Shaw is short.
Brilliant there from the Aussie overseas. There's a lovely drive through the covers again. Gave himself a little bit of room, did Eskenazi, to try and crash that one through the covers, but Short with an important stop there. Brings Williamson on. Currently 10 off 9. He's not had a particularly fluent start other than that monstrous 6 down the ground. A slower ball from Singh Dale that time, and Williamson pierces the gap there with a textbook cover drive that we've seen him play a million times before. Moves on to 14.
That was caressed, wasn't it? That's a sign of class from Kane Williamson. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just timing. Lovely shot.
Yeah, he never does. That is prime Williamson right there. What we've come to know and love from the Kiwi star all around the world. That one almost beats the inside edge and just dabbed down the ground in the end to end the 4th over. 47 without loss. Middlesex are absolutely flying now inside the power play.
Yeah, 46 of the last 3. And Jack Taylor's got a few problems here. Here's his brother coming into the attack.
Yeah, it's interesting, as you mentioned, that the pace-off could be a good option here. We saw that the spinners really struggle in Middlesex's bowling innings. They were the only 2 bowlers. They both went for, what, 13 and a halves and 15 and a halves. The 3 seamers went all for under 8 and over. But it was often their slower balls that worked particularly well, digging the ball into the pitch, taking pace off. Matt Taylor comes in now.
In he comes, and that's down the leg side, and that's tickled round the corner by Williamson down towards the marker lane stand. And it's another boundary, brings up the Middlesex 50 after just 4.1 overs. And they carry on at this rate, they could be done by the 16th.
Yeah, they are absolutely flying. No real sign of letting up as well here for Middlesex.
Gloucestershire got to get a wicket. They have to get a wicket. Taylor. Oh, that's a big appeal. It's pitched outside leg stump though. It's a left armer. You've got to be pitching it on the stumps and angling it back, or hitting a bat on the full, hitting a batter on the full on the toes. And it's just a straight delivery. It's invariably either pitching outside leg stump or it's going to go on and miss off. Taylor. Driven, and Charlesworth gets his body behind that but can't stop the single. But I think they'll take ones at the moment.
I think that's a good way to just build up pressure. Boundaries are what is the way that Middlesex are going to win this game, really. He still needs almost 10 and over, and will continue to need that for quite a while. So boundaries are going to be crucial for the batting side.
That's well bowled by Taylor. Shy at the stumps from Hammond as Williamson scampers home. Yeah, well, they're going at nearly 12s. Run rate required is just a shade under 10.
Yeah, Eskenazi in particular has been the batter on top. He's found the boundary on a number of occasions, flying well on 28 or 14 at the moment.
Matty Taylor just follows Williamson. They're going to get 2 here. That's really good. Actually follows Eskenazi, but it's really good weight of shot there from the Middlesex captain. These 2 have got a telepathic understanding. They knew immediately there was 2 there, didn't they?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Williamson is obviously one of the smartest cricketers around. They always used to call him the pitch whisperer. All he needed was a few balls on a pitch and can tell you the pass score. Or so was the fairy tale anyway.
Oh, that is maybe Eskenazi trying to be too clever there and almost hits it into his stumps. And it was also perilously close to getting caught behind as well. But no harm done from a Middlesex perspective. And after 5 overs, they're 56 without loss.
Yeah, I know a scoop's not really a conventional shot, but we're still yet to see a regulation scoop from Eskenazi. He's played that last one there, was an interesting one, almost onto his own stumps, and he's played a few where he's looked to go leg side with it. The bowler's followed him across to the offside, and he's almost had to try and squirt it through third man, which he has done actually on a couple of occasions. Can you see a change of bowling here? Josh Shaw back into the attack. He had a very expensive first over, 17 from it. I think 4 fours in a row as well. He's bowling to Kane Williamson now. Use of feet, and that was driven spectacularly through the covers. More textbook driving here from Kane Williamson. Seeing as much driving as Silverstone today.
Love it.
4 from the first ball. Can Shaw fight back into the over? Williamson just dabs that one down through third man. Picks up the single, gets off strike.
Gloucestershire need a tidy over here. They need an over that doesn't go for a boundary. They can just get a, an over of 5 or 6. They'd take that.
Yeah, and I think, as you've already mentioned a few times, Dan, the wicket, vital wicket. They need to just change something up here. We saw how easy Gloucestershire found it to just keep going in their innings with that opening partnership that stood for a long time. That was smoked up in the air into the wind, and actually the wind almost drags it back in. It will be 6 though. That is a strong crosswind here today at the Seat Unique Stadium, and that one only just cleared the fielder at deep square leg. It went high into the sky from Eskenazi.
Yeah, only just went over the head of Ollie Price. Sorry, Charlesworth.
Gives himself room, and this time through the offside. And just about beats Ollie Price in there at backward point. Another boundary. Just gave himself a little bit of room that time. Towards the leg side he moved. And just slashed that one through backward point.
This is carnage. Gloucestershire desperate for a wicket.
Two balls remain in the power play. Into the pitch, and that was pulled into the leg side, just for the one though. That's Graham Van Buren just holding his hand a little bit there. Maybe he's taking a little knock to it. I think he's all right. He's still inspecting it. It's his left hand as well, his bowling hand. It's not what they need. Is it Gloucestershire? One ball in the power play now. Full and straight and driven again through the covers, this time not for a boundary. Good piece of athletic fielding there in the covers to stop it. 73 without loss, Middlesex. And that is the power play done. They are quite a way ahead of where Gloucestershire were. 57 without loss after the power play. But it did take until the 11th over for Middlesex to pick up their first. And we will see a change of bowling here now. Graham Van Buren, slow left armour, coming into the attack. And the field has spread. Long on, long off, sweeper on the offside. Deep backward square and cow corner as well, all protected by men out on the rope.
Yeah, they're giving Middlesex the single on the leg side. They're quite happy. Middlesex to take the singles as they myrtle this one up to long on as 3 fielders converge on it, and they'll come through for a single. Here's Van Buren down the leg side as Bancroft whips the bails off a wide, but you can still be stumped off a wide.
Good piece of glove work there from Bancroft behind the stumps, but Eskenazi didn't waver out of his crease.
Tucked into the leg side. They're going to come back for 2. It's clever cricket. Really good running by these two. And they'll scamper back for a double. You can see what Van Buren's trying to do here. He's trying to angle it into the body, not giving these batters any room to swing their levers. Again, it's in the same area. This is good from Van Buren, experienced South African. Popular man in this neck of the woods. And the most gleaming white smile in cricket. That's just nurdled into Hammond at deep mid wicket, and they'll amble through for a single. Van Buren, reverse sweep, but they won't get one there. Ajit Singhdale. But this is what Gloucestershire need. They need an over that won't go for a boundary. As Van Buren bowls this to Eskenazi, who works it up to Ollie Price at long on, and they'll come through for a single. And I'm delighted to welcome, and hopefully a change in the commentary box can bring a Gloucestershire wicket, the Gloucestershire chairman, Peter Matthews. How are you, Peter?
Yeah, good, Dan. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a fast start, this. It's a relentless pitch out there, isn't it?
It is. Middlesex has started very well, like Gloucestershire did. I think at the moment you probably make them slight favourites, but a couple of wickets, as always in cricket, Dan, changes everything.
Certainly does. Were you a bowler in your time or a bat?
I was a wicket keeper who couldn't bat.
Ah.
So I was a lower order batsman and played a lot of cricket with your good friend Ian Randall.
Well, I heard he was a military medium seamer.
He was a very good bowler, Ian Randall.
Was he really?
There were a lot of Court Matthews's bowl Randalls because we had a very fast bowler at the other end who sprayed the ball everywhere, nicknamed Aerosol. Batsmen then saw Ian come on with military medium and they hit it everywhere.
Ajit Singhdale from the Ashley Down Road end, and Eskenazi just pushes that to Matt Taylor at cover point. So how bad was his batting? He was a number 11, wasn't he?
He was about number 14. I played with him 1 year, and he made 4 successive Golden Ducks.
That's an Audi.
He had only very good. He only had one shot, which was the hoik over mid wicket. Didn't matter where the ball was. If it was on the stumps, he was out.
Williamson has a little flirt with that one outside the off stump. Good pace this from Ajit Singhdale. Now, you've been chairman here for how long now?
10 months.
And are you enjoying the role?
It's certainly a very demanding job, there's no question about that.
Yeah. Obviously you're from the north of the county, you're from up sort of Cheltenham, that direction. If you played with Ian Randall, you're from up there. And we've got Cheltenham Festival coming soon. That's gone up in the air, and that's a monster. That's gone over the Jack Russell stand, and that is just a pick up. He's hardly hit that at all. It's just pure timing there from Kane Williamson. Cheltenham Festival then, Peter.
Yep.
It's the 152nd, 53rd, something like that?
It won't quite be that, because there were 2 festivals that didn't take place. 1 or 2 probably didn't take place in the war, but the first festival was 1872. So 153rd year, if not the 153rd running of the festival.
And the logistics behind Cheltenham, obviously uprooting the county from Bristol, as Ajit comes in, and again Williamson tries to get funky with that one. How much of a logistical nightmare is it, sort of uprooting everything from Bristol?
It's huge. I mean, the team here do an unbelievable job in that Cheltenham is a playing field for the school for 50 weeks out of 52, and everything has to be moved, everything has to be built. It's not like some of the other festival grounds like Scarborough, where you've got a cricket club there all year round. Cheltenham is a cricket ground for 2 weeks out of 52.
Singhdale, that is out! That is the end of Williamson. Jack Taylor with a screaming catch, and Gloucestershire have got the breakthrough that they needed. And congratulations, Peter Matthews, on your first wicket.
Fantastic. Terrific catch by Jack Taylor, that as well. And as you say, Dan, wickets change everything, don't they, in cricket? And Gloucestershire had to break this partnership. If it was going for another 5 overs, then they could take the game away from Gloucestershire. But that's a great catch by Jack Taylor. And it was travelling, wasn't it, Dan?
Certainly was. I thought, you know, it's got 4 runs written all over it. And Jack Taylor, he's box office, isn't he? He creates theatre. When something needs to happen, Jack Taylor steps up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been a terrific servant for the county, and yeah, he's certainly taken a really good catch there. Captained the side well as well, and yeah, wicket desperately needed, Dan. So let's see. Sometimes in cricket, as you well know, 1 wicket brings 2 or 3, and that would be very helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Gloucestershire need a quick bang bang.
I am
here.
allowed to be biased, aren't I? On this
Yeah,
stream?
completely.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
completely.
Good news. That's good news. Because I am, obviously.
Well, you know, obviously I'm working for Gloucestershire County Cricket Club, and I might not be welcome back home in North London later on. So, part of what you've been doing here, which has been very popular, is you've been taking members' forums around Gloucestershire. You know, you've had one, I think, at Forest Green Rovers, didn't you? You had one at Cheltenham Town Football Club.
Yeah, we did 9 in total. So.
Yeah. As Singdale comes into the left-handed Max Holden, who pushes this back to him. This is a good over this from Ajit. 87 for 1 at the end of the 8th. Yeah, so tell us all about those.
Yeah, so I mean, the plan was that I think there'd been a little bit of a disconnect between the members and the club. So go out, and Dan, the original idea was to go and take members' forums to every place that I've seen Gloucestershire play at. I failed spectacularly. I didn't go to Trowbridge. Gloucestershire played 1 game at Trowbridge. I still don't fully understand why, but they did play a game at Trowbridge. But we went to Swindon, went to Lydney, went to Moreton in Marsh, went to Gloucester, went to, as you say,
one tickle round the corner there.
We went to Stroud, even though Gloucestershire haven't played at Stroud since the 1950s.
You go to the Wagon Works?
Yeah, well, the Wagon Works went to Wagon Works. It was Erinod at Stroud. Wagon Works was Gloucester. Archdeacon was Gloucester. So we did Gloucester. We did Cirencester, even though Gloucester haven't played there since the 19th century. But they were good.
Van Buren pushes that one wide. He's going to be given a wide. Yeah, and how important is communication between the club and the fans? I mean, it's the link, isn't it? As that's tossed up and driven out by Holden to Jack Taylor, extra cover.
Yeah, the communication's really important. I think members are the lifeblood of a members club, goes without saying.
It's turned into the onside, and they think about running on the misfield, but Ian Randall would never have done that, would he, Peter?
He wouldn't have hit it that far. No way. Are you saying Ian Randall wouldn't have misfielded it? Because I did see him do 1 or 2 misfields.
Van Buren swept cleverly, but only to Josh Shaw, and Holden has to get his skates on to get down the other end. Now, part of your role, I should imagine, is repairing the finances here at Gloucestershire as well. It's, you know, it's no secret that it's, I'll come on to it after this ball, as that's driven pleasantly. Ollie Price, can he cut this off? Yes, he can. He's outstanding in the field. They love him here, and keeps that down to 2. Yeah, it's no secret that the finances have been a bit of a mess in the last few years.
Yeah, they've been a challenge. We'll talk about this after the Van Buren ball.
Driven up to long on. Just going to be 1, Darcy Short fields.
So, I mean clearly the club went through really difficult times. We had to repair the finances, otherwise we would have been in real financial problems. We had to take out a loan to keep us going. We had to get support at the ECB. The banks were really worried. They did something called an independent bank review, which is effectively what you do to a business that you worry might not survive. But I have to give credit to the finance team. They've done a super job. We're not out the woods yet, but we did a trading profit last year. We'll do a trading profit again this year. What weighs us down is 4 million of debt, which on a 9 million turnover business is way too high, way too high.
So it's bank charges and the interest.
It is, absolutely, Dan. If you didn't have that level of debt, Gloucestershire would be a stable financial club.
Matt Taylor from the Ashley Down Road end, as Holden almost chips this up to Graham van Buren at mid-off. So the day-to-day running of Gloucestershire is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's come on a long way. A lot of people work very hard here. The underlying business will generate cash. It will generate what's called EBIT, which is a good measure, earnings before interest and tax, which is a good indication of whether the business itself is profitable. It is, but those bank charges and interest are really quite difficult for us.
Taylor around the wicket. Eskenazi plays this up to long on to Ollie Price. So, I mean, I know the staff here, they work so hard, as you've just mentioned.
They definitely do,
Yeah, and I think that just epitomises what Gloucestershire's about as a club. It's a real community club, it's a family club, and everyone's got each other's backs here, haven't they?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Taylor over the wicket to Holden. Oh, is that a little feather? It is! And Holden goes, caught Bancroft, bowled Matt Taylor, and he'll depart for 5.
Can I stay on commentary for a bit? I'll tell you what I really want to do. So both you and I know the great late Bob Hunt, who I work with on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. I'm really keen that there's a skyer, and as you commentate, before you can say whether it's out, I can shout, it's out, it's out, it's out, which Bob always used to do. He didn't used to allow the commentator to describe the wicket if he was a summariser. He took over. And in memory of my dear friend Bob, with whom I have many happy days, I'm really keen that there's a boundary catch and I can just shout, it's out, before you can get the words out your mouth. That, I've got very few ambitions left in my life, Dan. That might be one of them.
Well, Bob Hunt was from Barnet originally, where I'm from.
He was.
And came down here to Gloucestershire.
He was,
so I'm sort of following his path a little bit, hopefully. I mean, if I can even have a modicum of the cult status that Bob had, I'll be more than happy with that. But he was famous. He fell in love with Forest Green Rovers, didn't he?
He did.
And famously, I think he stuck a few quid on them to win 6-1 away somewhere.
He did. It was a Radio 4 pick of the week. I'll say more about that in a moment.
Taylor around the wicket. New batter is Ben Geddes, and he's going to get 4 first ball. That's a nice shot. Well worked into the gap, and that'll bring up the Middlesex 100 with that. Good signing from Surrey over the winter, Geddes. And just works on down towards the club offices there. Yeah, so Bob, the story with Bob.
So Bob always used to put 5 to 1. Forest Green Rovers to win 5-1. Away from home. Don't know if he did it in the new lawn, but he always did it away from home. Every game, 5-1.
Well bowled by Taylor, just back of a length.
So Forest Green were Alfreton. I was doing Cheltenham at Northampton. And in the second half, there were goals going in, and every time you got in your headphones, go to Bob, go to Bob. It got to 4-1, and Forest Green were then told, go to Forest Green. And my message, Bob, have you done it? Yep, it's 5-1.
Taylor. That's up in the air. Is that going to be out? No, it's gone into the gap between Jack Taylor and Ajit Singh Dale. And Geddes gets out of jail. Middlesex at the halfway stage, 101 for 2, game on. So Bob, it was 5-1.
Bob has his money, not very much, £2 on Forest Green to win 5-1.
You've got good odds.
Oh, you've got fantastic odds.
5-1 away from home.
Although in fairness, Alfreton, probably not quite the same as if you put them to win 5-1 at Barnet, Dan. But anyway, it would have been good odds. So go to Bob, it's 4-1. Go to Bob, it's 5-1, at which point I say, right, Bob, we're all coming back to the studio. You're paying for us to go out for a really good curry. We'll break off.
Van Buren. Well bowled. Yeah, carry on.
We're into stoppage time. Go to Bob. I think it's going to be Bob's won his money. Forest Green have scored a 6. Great line from Bob. They always let you down.
Brilliant. That is just turn around the corner for a single. So Bob lost all his money.
Bob lost all his money. And it was a Radio 4 pick of the week. It was absolutely brilliant radio, which was Bob all over.
Fantastic. Oh, just getting a little bit of a leading edge there, Eskenazi, but that's going to be his 50 off just 28 balls, 7 fours, 1 6. And what a fine player Stevie Eskenazi is. Been a great servant at Middlesex. Geddes crunches that out to Jack Taylor, extra cover, but Van Buren's really putting the brakes on this, isn't he, Peter?
Yeah, he's bowling really well. I always felt he underbowled himself when he was captain, Dan.
Smash down the ground, but Darcy Short does the fielding. What are the players like to work with on the sort of day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I know some of them, but that's Mark's domain, not mine. So
yeah.
I would know many, and they're good people.
Up in the air. I think he's found the gap, and in fact it's gone all the way. Eskenazi. Wasn't the prettiest shot that he's played, but he's got 6 runs there.
Yeah, no, the players are great, Dan. They're a good bunch. They do good things for the county. If you want them to do a social function, you want them to meet fans, they're really, really good. And as you say, I mean, Gloucestershire ultimately is all about being united. It's all about a community club, and that was one of the reasons why I was so keen to go and talk with the members. You can't have a house divided against itself. It's got to be one Gloucestershire, and we certainly made progress. I talk about in a business, you look at the performance, financial numbers. You talk about the health, which is what's the culture like. Are people getting on well? Is our buzz? We've made good progress on the health. Still work to do on the performance.
Singdale, slower ball, smashed into the deep, and that's going to be 4 runs. Bullied by Geddes, over long off, 1 bounce towards the marker lane stand. It's the geographical split of Gloucestershire, and a number of counties have this as well. Kent was sort of, don't want to be too Canterbury centric. Is there a danger of it being too Bristol centric?
That's why the Cheltenham Festival, I think, is incredibly important, because the reality is I'm a Cheltonian, as you know, Dan.
Yeah.
The reality is Bristol is the biggest city in Gloucestershire. Some people, by the way, will absolutely debate whether it is in Gloucestershire, but we'll come back to that.
Singdale. That's smashed down the ground by Geddes, but only to Ollie Price for a single.
Yeah, so one of the first things I got at one of the members' forums, Mr. Chairman, when are you going to move Gloucestershire back to Gloucestershire? So it's definitely there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think it's... I don't think you can win wherever you know, because you don't want to annoy the people of Bristol, and you don't want to annoy those from the north of the county. That's gone over the top. That's going to be 1 bounce 4 as well. Jack Taylor's got a headache here. Eskenazi. Peter, you need to work your magic and get rid of Eskenazi.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key wicket now, isn't it? I think if he stays, it's going to be difficult. But he's a terrific player, and you know, you looked at that Middlesex opening pair, and you knew even with a big score that if they got going, they would get Middlesex off to a really good start, which they have.
Yeah, I think this is very similar to the wicket here against Kent, where 208 played 204. Here's Singdale short, and Eskenazi clubs this out towards Van Buren on the Kennington Avenue side of the ground. So you were here for a month in Gloucestershire won the Vitality Blast.
2 weeks, Dan.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and I offered to resign on the spot.
You come on commentary,
good
Gloucestershire start
done,
taking
job
wickets. Done. I mean, you know, can I sort of, is anything rubbing off on you here?
Job done. Yeah, that was it was terrific, wasn't it?
Oh, it was fantastic that night in Birmingham. Oh, that's heaved by Geddes. Charlesworth cuts off the boundary, well fielded out in the deep. Yeah, that night in Birmingham, I would say it will live long in the memory, but I don't think Jimmer and I could remember much about it, Ed.
Well, funny enough, Dan, I think in some respects for me, the quarter-final was even better.
Yeah.
Because the quarter-final was a terrific game of cricket. You know, you 138 and you're thinking, that looks a bit light. But what a performance to defend 138.
Eskenazi giving himself room, Singdale following him, but manages to work it out to mid-wicket. 8 overs to go, Middlesex 122 for 2. At this stage, Gloucestershire 118 for 1. Even Darren Stevens.
Yeah, it is. the key is taking wickets, isn't it, Dan, as you know, because it then brings in new batters to the crease, and if one of them could be the opener, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. Well, you've been fascinating company. I wish we could have a chat with you longer. I mean, stay on for this over, but it's the nature of T20 where it's all action, isn't it? But in the Metro Bank, we've got one up in Cheltenham. I should imagine you'll be there. We'd love to have you back on air where you can, we can wax lyrical for longer, maybe.
Usual fee plus expenses.
Ha. Just go and see Neil Prescott and he'll reimburse you.
I've tried that. It's not worked yet in 10 months.
Doesn't work for me either, so yeah.
Are you doing this for free, are you, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
That's good of you.
You know me. Good club man.
That's what we like to hear.
Van Buren.
I bet Randall charges.
Out to Ollie Price, and he's gone. That is the end of Geddes. Ollie Price doesn't drop anything. And wickets, Peter Matthews, who said were needed, they've just got one.
Well, all I'm going to say, Dan, is I've got to go back and talk to some of the members. If the wickets don't come, I'm coming back up here, all right? Because you asked wickets, we've got 3. So I'll leave you to get the other 7, is that all right?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
And that looks like a good time for me to say, really enjoyed talking to you, Dan, and we'll talk again soon. All the best.
Peter, you've been fantastic. Thank you. There's Peter Matthews, the Gloucestershire chair, who spoke openly and honestly, and I think communication is the key with the members there, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Toby,
I'm back.
You're back,
and with Gloucester in a much better position than when I left. So
yeah, off you go.
I might need to stay away. We'll see how the next couple of overs go, I guess.
Half of North London's most of North London's willing you to get back in the commentary box, mate. Graham Van Buren, he's bowled pretty well, I think. He's in his 4th over, 1 for 24, and he comes to Deploy, who works that one out to Hammond, deep mid-wicket, and just the single. Middlesex's Wasp is now 36. The DLS score is 122. They're 124 for 3. As that's tickled into the onside, and they're going to come back for 2. Eskenazi's been really intelligent in his placement, I think.
Yeah, very much so. It's been a very impressive innings from him so far. He's still going, and he has been and will continue to be the key wicket if Gloucestershire can dismiss him.
It's just one out to Price. Oh, it was one short and the last ball. So that would have been Deploy. Was it Deploy or Eskenazi at this end? It was Eskenazi at the bowler's end when he turned for the 2. That's why he can run 2s. He's not running the 22 yards. And that's Middlesex lose this by 1 run. They'll kick themselves. One goes out to Jack Taylor on the boundary. Van Buren finishes his 4 overs. No maidens, 1 for 28. The crucial wicket of Ben Geddes. And what an experienced, wise campaigner Graham Van Buren is. Yeah,
he's been hugely impressive, especially when you consider the tap that the Middlesex spinners got. For Van Buren to come in here, the ground he knows well, but to come in and to bowl so tight, offer absolutely nothing to the Middlesex batters and just help claw Gloucestershire back into this game. They were looking in trouble for a large stages. They're still a long way to go for both sides here. 7 overs remain, 78 to win from 42. It's not far off to a ball now.
Where's your pocket money, Toby?
I mean, Gloucestershire are probably looking favourites, but it's going to be really tight, you think, with that one dug into the pitch.
Payne's back into the attack.
I think it's a smart move. You've got to get your Premier bowler in to try and get a wicket, try and just end Middlesex's hopes here. But to a ball is still very doable.
Well, this is where Gloucestershire won so many games last year. The boa constrictor comes out, strangles sides, and you pick up wickets through creating pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Payne went for just 6 from his first 2 overs. And that one's just pushed into the offside. They're going to come back for 2. Could be tight. Slightly wayward throw means they're pretty home. They're home pretty comfortably in the end. Yeah, 6 I should say from each of the overs. His first 2, Payne.
I think Eskenazi's the key. As long as he's there, I think Middlesex are favourites.
Sweepers out in front of square. Both sides of the boundary here for Payne. That one's into the pads of Eskenazi. They get through for 1. It will be just a leg by though. That's definitely a win for Payne. Not only just the 1 run from it, but actually getting Eskenazi off strike as well. Loose deploy facing recently to the crease, replacing Ben Geddes.
And every ball that doesn't go for 2, that run rate creeps up, doesn't it?
Very much so. Deploy's not
for
had
at least 2.
Yeah, exactly. Deploy's not had the greatest season so far for Middlesex. Look to change that here. So he slashes that one through the offside. He's only going to pick 1 up for it though. Eskenazi happy to take back strike. Little left-right combo here as well. So Eskenazi, you'd assume when the bowler's coming in from the Ashley Down Road end, is going to be looking to target the short boundary. And similarly, Loose deploy will be doing the same thing from the other end. Short dug into the pitch. Too much there and a wide signalled. Payne just losing control of that one a little bit. He's going to have to re-bowl it. Not quite sure what happened there. Just nipped off the pitch a lot, like as well, but ballooned over the head of Eskenazi. That one's straighter this time, flicked around the corner. Singdaled as well though to field at short fine leg. And again, just a single for it. 71 to win, 37 balls remaining. Final ball here in the 14th over.
Odd bowl Ollie Price, next one from this end.
Turning the ball towards that long leg side boundary as well. Full Yorker in there. They're going to push for 2, I think. They should get back comfortably for it. They do indeed.
It's a miss hit, but sometimes they work in your favour. It sounded horrible actually off the deploy's bat.
Yeah, very much so. Proper toe end of it. But actually, almost more importantly than the 2, Eskenazi's on strike, it means as well. 136 for 3.
Into vitality.
Yeah, but 14 runs have come off the last 2 overs, so Gloucestershire hauling this back. The T-shirts are getting thrown into the crowd.
I think from memory, this equivalent over in Gloucestershire's innings was the one that was smashed for a lot of 6s by Darcy Short. He found the boundary on a few occasions.
Yeah, it was it 25 off the over. Josh Shaw into the attack as that's cut away, but brilliantly fielded by Van Buren. He's having a good game.
Yeah, it wasn't needed with the bat, but in the field and with the ball, he's been vital to Gloucestershire today.
He's one of the good guys in cricket, Graham Van Buren. Him and Martian DeLunger just go everywhere together. They're like inseparable. One's 5'6" and the other one's 6'6". Shaw to deploy, who can't get that away, but it's good bowling from Josh Shaw. Jack Taylor will be happy with this. He doesn't mind ones. That run rate just shy of 12 now. Runs required. The run rate is just shy of 10. At this stage, I think 1-5-1.
Yeah, the end of this over.
That's in the air. Is that going to be out? Miles Hammond? No, it's over his head. Eskenazi using the wind to great effect. And that looked, for all intents and purposes, it was going down Miles Hammond's throat. 66 catches he's taken in T20 cricket. But unless he had a step ladder, he's not catching that one. Sure. It's got to be out. Yeah, he's out. Eskenazi going across the line. Josh Shaw, the man for all seasons, like Sir Thomas More, he strikes and removes Eskenazi LBW.
Yeah, huge wicket there for Gloucestershire. The danger man is gone. And it's now surely Gloucestershire's to lose here. That is a big, big wicket. Eskenazi batted beautifully for 75.
Oh, there's still Middlesex batting. I mean, Gloucestershire fans will know all about this guy walking to the crease who can hit a long ball. Luke Holman's a fine player who can strike a lot of sixes as well. Middlesex have got depth. I don't think this game's done and dusted yet, but that's a big, big moment in the game, I think.
Yeah, very much so. 61 required from 32 deliveries. The rate continues to climb here now, and Josh Shaw again coming in clutch for Gloucestershire. Crucial last year, has been crucial since his return this year as well. He's picked up 7 wickets at a very good rate from his 3 games before this.
Here he comes, Shaw, as that's just into the pads of Higgins, who's got it into a good pocket actually, and will scamper back for 2. Josh Shaw, he got collared early on, but he might have lost his bucket hat, but he didn't lose the battle in the end. Remember, there's a reward for Josh Shaw's bucket hat, if you can help locate it. Oh, that's well bowled.
Absolute peach from Shaw to finish that over there. 146 for 4 now, Middlesex.
Yeah. So they are behind where Gloucestershire were at this stage. But you never know, 5 overs left. 59 to win.
Pretty much 2 a ball, isn't it, required? 59 from 30. As you mentioned, still some batting from Middlesex to come, but...
And the ground's so fast scoring that, I still think Middlesex, I don't think there's a lot in it.
Yeah, Wasp isn't up at the moment. Duckworth Lewis is at 154. Gloucestershire were at 151 at this stage. Gloucestershire also only 1 down at this stage as well, with Taylor in to continue. That's flicked around the corner, will be 4 as well. Races away across this quick outfield here for Luce Deploy. He moves into double figures. It's a tough start there for Matt Taylor.
Yeah, just the wrong line from the man known as Bomber.
Yeah, he's got 3 sweepers out.
David Payne, a little finer down at deep backward square.
A bit fuller this time and just tucked into the leg side. They're going to push for 2, but not quick enough for them, as I think is that Darcy Short out there, quick across the ground again. He's been impressive in the field today. Three sweepers out on the leg side, 2 out on the off, all in front of square. That was angled in at the batter, and they'll just settle for a leisurely single that time. Out to Ben Charlesworth at deep mid-wicket. Brings the left-handed loose deploy onto face again.
Yeah, I think I think Taylor will just bowl one here. They normally save him for the 20th. Payne the 19th, Taylor the 20th.
That was short and pulled around the corner out to Payne, his left arm partner. And again for just a single.
They're different types of left armers though. I've interviewed them both together for my podcast, Being Glorious, and they're different types of left armers. Taylor's more into the pitch, skiddy. Payne is tall and tries to swing the ball.
Around the wicket he comes in towards the right-handed Higgins, who tucks it into the leg side. They'll just pick up a couple for it with some more great fielding from Van Buren out there at deep backward square leg.
Yeah, what a fine game Graham Van Buren's having.
Yeah, interestingly, with 4 overs to go after this one, overs remain for David Payne, Josh Shaw, Ajit Singh Dale and Matt Taylor, 1 each. So unless they want to go to a bit of spin, maybe Ollie Price or the skipper Taylor himself. That one's just slashed down the ground for 1. Yeah, unless they want to go to some, not part-time spin, but all-round spin, which I think could be a very bold and surprising decision.
Ajit Singh Dale is going to come on from the pavilion end. It's the big move in the game. End of the 16th. 156 for 4.
Not far off where Gloucestershire were, 158 at this stage. But 2 down they were, the home sides.
Well, we'll be living on a prayer. Will it be Gloucestershire or Middlesex? As that's worked into the gap, they're going to come back for 2. Oh, that's close. Great throw from Miles Hammond, but I think Deploy was always going to get home anyway. What a game of cricket this is. These two sides providing marvellous entertainment.
Yeah, it's still very, very tight. Either team can claim victory here. It's going to take some moments of magic.
Singh Dale to Higgins. Oh, and he's edged that for 4 down towards the Ashley Down Road end, just past the outstretched hand of Cameron Bancroft. And I think Ryan Higgins has said his prayers.
Yeah, lucky escape there from the ex-Gloucestershire star. Big, thick outside edge, too far for Bancroft. And he picks up a boundary for it as well, a very, very useful boundary, does Ryan Higgins.
Singh Dale. That's just worked into the gap, and they're going to get 2. It's clever cricket this. Middlesex placement has been superb. These two sides put on a fine game of cricket which went to the last ball a couple of years ago at Merchant Taylor's School. A game that was notable for one of the finest catches I've ever seen off by Joe Cracknell out in the deep. And it looks like they're providing similar fare here at the Seat Unique Stadium in Bristol. 41 off 3.5. That's hit into the deep. They're going to come back for... No, they're not. Matty Taylor, that's outstanding from him. In quickly off that line, keeps them to 1.
So useful there. Just to try and slow him down. Brings Deploy on strike. Just trying to stay in the game here. And Middlesex bang on to a ball, 40 from 20. It's a simple equation for both teams. Singdale's got 2 balls in his spell remaining. Can he have an impact?
In he comes to Liz deploy. That's a dot ball. Clever from Ajit Singh Dale. Back into the side today for Marchand de Lange. And a dot ball is a hot ball, as they say when they're coaching youngsters in cricket.
Yeah, really, really good there from Singdale. Just nailed that wide Yorker there. Deploy unable to try and squeeze that one away into the offsides.
Cracknell can give it a whack as well, actually. Here's Ajit. Short and pulled out to Van Buren. They're only going to get 1. They'll take that. 39 to win off 3. 166 for 4 at the end of the 17th. 10 off that over. Ajit Singh Dale finishes 1 for 43 off his 4. And I reckon it will be Josh Shaw to bowl this. Is it David Payne?
Oh, interesting.
So they'll go David Payne, Josh Shaw, Matt Taylor, I should imagine.
Yeah, not a bad call. Payne's bowled from that end before as well.
He prefers this end, but you know he's ambidextrous. He can drink red wine or white wine, David Payne. He can bowl from either end.
Middlesex batters just having a little chat. Loose deploy, the left-hander on strike here. He's got a long leg side boundary for the left-hander this over. He's got, Payne has 2 fielders on the offside, long off and deep cover. And then on the leg side, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. The 3 of them have got a lot of land to cover out there. There's a big gap between mid-wicket and long on. Full and straight, and that one's just dabbed down the ground. Just 1 as well, attacked really well from Hammond out there in the deep.
Mark Elaine spoke about David Payne, that over he bowled against Surrey in that famous tie last year, which Gloucestershire wouldn't have qualified for finals day without that tie at the Oval. And David Payne bowled that last over. Mark Elaine described it as him getting it right in the hole, and he does. He just nails the Yorkers, doesn't he?
And that one beats the outside edge, angled across the right-hander. I think a slower ball, little off-cutter, just gripped in the pitch, and it looked like Higgins tried to launch that one over the Jack Russell stand. Didn't lay bat on it, and an important dot ball. As you can hear the vuvuzelas echoing around the grounds here. Again, full, and Clough back to David Payne, the bowler. Another dot ball. Single dot in this over. Brilliant from the tall left armour. This time outside off, they're going to scamper for a quick single. Slight misfield from the skipper, Jack Taylor there. But a single's not bad, yeah.
Take ones, Jack Taylor, all day long.
If anything, if it had a shy at the bowler's end, it could have allowed them to get back for a second. So
yeah,
happy to stop the single. Sorry, stop the 2, stop the boundary. 2 balls in the over. Loose deploy on strike. Smacks that one down the ground. Doesn't get a hold of it again, though. Clever again from Payne, just digging it into the pitch.
David Payne showing here why he's won the Big Bash, showing why he's won the Vitality Blast. That experience at the death, when you need him, he's the man.
Oh, he's gone!
Hit wicket.
Taking his own stumps there as Higgins looking to reverse sweep that one over the offside. Instead, swings round and takes out his own stumps. And Payne picks up the wicket. A brilliant final over for David Payne there. Fantastic there from Payne. He picks up a deserved wicket, and most importantly goes for just a few runs in that over. 22 runs from David Payne's 4 overs. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, David Payne.
Bizarre end to Ryan Higgins' innings there, wasn't it? You don't see that very often. Josh De Cares there, just running on and giving a towel. Yeah, the bowler gets the wicket there.
Well, they've sent Cracknell out ahead of...
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that. Joe Cracknell's a very good player. Can hit a long ball. Shaw, that's up in the air. That is going to be out. It's gone a long way up, and it's gone into the hands of Ben Charlesworth. He makes no mistake, and the boa constrictor is strangling Middlesex here at the Seat Unique.
Yeah, Cracknell had to really start fast. Went for the big shot early. Got caught in that strong wind we've talked about all day today. Even though it's a short boundary, it's really deceiving. You can see flags fluttering around the stadium today. And Shaw picks up another wicket. He's been expensive, but he's got 2 important wickets. First, Eskenazi, the skipper, who was absolutely flying. He's got Cracknell now.
That's Josh Shaw's 50th T20 wicket for Gloucestershire as well. What a servant he's been. Yorkshireman down in the southwest. I think he came here in 2016. And what a popular guy he is around these parts. That's Holman just working that into the onside. These two from North Middlesex Cricket Club. That lovely club just at the foot of Alexandra Palace. View of where television first came back in, I think, 1923, 26 maybe, something like that. But I'll tell you what, they've got a job on their hands now. 35 from 10 balls, Cracknell and Holman. Shaw. Yorker. The experienced trinity here. Shaw, Payne, Matt Taylor. That's why Gloucestershire tend to come out on top of these tight games. And if Gloucestershire do win this, that's 4 on the bounce, having lost the first 5. Gloucestershire certainly don't do things easily if they are going to qualify for finals day. Another good ball from Shaw. It's only going to be 1. Miles Hammond quickly in off that line. Eight balls remaining. Middlesex now 20 behind the DLS. That's caught! Holman trying to get funky, and Josh Shaw takes his 3rd wicket. David Payne with the catch. You can't keep him out of the game. And I think he looked to go ramping leg side, and Josh Shaw, clever bowling, pushes it across him, follows him across to the offside, and Holman is out. Caught by David Payne, bowled by the Wakefield warrior Josh Shaw for just 1. Middlesex are 171 for 7, and they're up against it now, aren't they?
Yeah, wickets are tumbling. here at the Unique Stadium. Zafar Gohar out to join Cracknell at the crease now.
Yeah.
And it's looking harder and harder for Middlesex now. 7 balls remain, 34 to win. It's going to take a miracle for the visitors.
Yeah, but this guy can bat. He's no fool. He likes to go leg side and smash it over the covers.
Could be useful next over with the short boundary for the offside for the left-hander.
Yeah. Josh Shaw, as he's smashed that out to Miles Hammond, and they'll pick up 2. It's a bit of a wild throw actually, but no harm done. End of the 19th, 173 for 7, 2 wickets and 4 runs. And Joshua Shaw, take a bow.
Yeah, brilliant spell, 3 for 48 in total. He was pretty expensive off his first couple, but has shown his brilliance coming back into it.
Bit of Neil Diamond there. I think in the eyes of Gloucestershire fans, Josh Shaw's a diamond.
Into the pitch, that could be big. It's huge. 6 first ball. That's what was needed, and Cracknell has stood up and deposited that one into the car park.
Hello.
Still on 26 from 5. It's still a massive ask for Middlesex, but it's still on.
Well.
We were saying it's going to take a moment of magic. I think it might take 5 more moments of magic here for Cracknell, but it's still on.
Well, I think if Joe Cracknell can win this for Middlesex, he'll be inheriting St John's Wood. He'll have the keys to the City of London.
26 from 5, Taylor into the pitch, and that one's slammed into the leg side again. Back-to-back sixes, another one! Cracknell has gone big again.
Wowzers. We've got a game of cricket on our hands here at Bristol.
20 from 4. The required rate and the runs required keep dropping.
You've got to go full outside off stump, I think, to him here.
There's 3 sweepers on the leg side boundary, but they've not had an opportunity yet. Into the pitch again, and this time just dab down the ground. They're going to push for 2 here. They're not going to get it though. Good fielding out there on the boundary from Hammond, I think that is.
Yeah, Ollie Price.
Ollie Price even,
quickly.
sorry.
Yeah, Ollie Price, superb. And here's Zafar Gohar. He can tie the game still with 3 sixes. How ironic would it be if he came back to haunt Gloucestershire?
Short again, up in the air. Has he got enough on it? Yes, it does. There's the 6.
Oh my word.
It's still going. 12 runs from 2 balls ties it.
Well. I've run out of superlatives.
Taylor's looked to go into the pitch every time this over, and he's been hit for 3 sixes and a single. 2 sixes tie it for Middlesex here. Anything else and Gloucestershire take victory. Short again, up in the air, that's not going to be enough. Gloucestershire will have victory here. They get back for 2. And all he has to do now, Matt Taylor, is keep his foot behind the line. 194 for 7. It's been an impressive chase here for Middlesex. They're going to come up on the wrong end of the result, with their hopes of a Vitality Blast quarter-final looking less and less likely. Gloucestershire, however, still well within the fight. Final ball here. Short again, dug into the pitch. They're going to get through for the single. And that will be it. A bye to finish us off here at the Seat Unique Stadium, and an absolutely fabulous game. 4 victories in 4 games for Gloucestershire. It's been a brilliant recovery in the Vitality Blast, having lost the first 5. They're still very much capable of retaining the title.
Yeah, what a fantastic game of cricket. It doesn't do much for the blood pressure, but what fine entertainment. And for me, this game was about 2 shorts. It was about Darcy Short in Gloucestershire's innings with 83, and then Middlesex just faltered when Stevie Eskenazi ran 1 short, and it sort of got into their heads a little bit, I think, and they sort of suffocated after that. But what fine entertainment, and these sides meet again at Merchant Taylor's soon, and I can't wait to go to that one. That's going to be fantastic cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw how tight it was today. In the end, Gloucestershire get over the line. You mentioned Darcy Short, a absolutely brilliant knock from him. Really put his side on the front foot, opening the batting, made 83, alongside Miles Hammond made 48. Gloucestershire continued to power on. We saw some lower order hitting as well, Ben Charlesworth and Ollie Price as well, firing the ball around alongside Cameron Bancroft. And then with the ball, David Payne, I think, was probably the pick of the bowlers, picked up a few wickets, but actually probably that 18th over, that he bowled, I think really just set the tone for the final couple overs. Went for just a few runs from it. Shaw, the following over as well, picked up a couple wickets and went for only 3 runs. And that basically left Middlesex with an impossible task that, despite them hitting 3 6s in the final over, they were too far.
Well, thanks to Toby, thanks to Peter Matthews. Gloucestershire win here by 9 runs. We'll be back on Wednesday. Gloucestershire have beaten the North Londoners. Now, for that lot from South London, we'll see you then.